Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our 15th anniversary of the podcast show and our 23rd year of the podcast, or of the website. They go hand in hand. And let's introduce who we've got on the panel. We've got George. What's going on, George?
This is my my shocked face.
Of what?
No, hello, everyone.
And we have the longest running member, even before George, it is JR. We've got JR. What's going on, JR? Welcome to the anniversary show. We've been doing this 15 years on the podcast. Do you believe this?
Oh, 15 years.
15 years, 2006.
I was in my 40s back then. I mean, holy cow.
We've also got Mike's here. What's up, Mike?
Hey guys, glad
Welcome.
to be here. Yeah, I'm trying to figure, since I can't do math, I'm trying to figure out how long have I been doing this. So
I don't know. That's one thing we're going to go over a little bit of our history on the site.
Yeah,
because I mean, technically, I was on the site first and then came on as a guest.
Yeah.
I think you came around like about 2014, 2015, around there.
Yep.
Yeah,
that would be it. Mm-hmm.
And we have Javi. What's going on, Javi?
Hey guys, it feels like it's been forever since I've talked to you.
What's new?
George.
How's the weather there now? No, just kidding.
Hot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And we have Kelly. What's going on, Kelly?
Hey, nothing much. I know that I've been on the site for a year and a half.
I think January 2020 is when you joined, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have Chi-Town in the house. What's going on?
Hey!
Whoa, Chi-Town's here.
Look at all these
JR's here.
people.
JR, you still look 40.
Why, thank you. I moisturize regularly.
I'm sure you do.
As a quick update, Brad,
Yes,
my
sir.
mother did watch the last show. And says that she's going to try to watch this show. She didn't say if she liked it or not. She merely sent me a text and said I watched.
Aww.
Hi,
Yeah,
Mrs. Berryman.
I've
No,
had
Go ahead.
I've had ex-girlfriends watch this show.
Oh, no.
Before, which is probably why they're exes now. So
She is not Mrs. Berryman. She is
Oh, I'm sorry.
her last name is Webb because she remarried when my parents got divorced, like when I was younger. She remarried back when I was in middle school. So her last name is Webb.
Yeah.
Oddly
it
enough,
easy to remember.
and my friends refer to her as Ma Webb.
Oh, that's awesome. What an
Hi, Ma
appropriate.
Webb.
Not
Nice.
Madam Webb?
No, Ma Webb.
Oh,
Ma
okay.
And if you ever find old cross-gen paperbacks from back in the day, she's actually quoted from reviewing them on a couple of them.
Oh,
Back when she reviewed them back in the day, and they credited her as Ma Webb. That's how she wrote on the internets when
That's awesome.
when she did comic reviews.
that's awesome. Let's see. Let me get my screen sharing going real quick. In case you were wondering, back in 2006, we started the podcast. We were the first Spider-Man podcast ever when iPods looked like this. I had one of those. I still have one of those. Look at this.
I still have one of those. I have like one of the 150 gig video iPods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it still turn on? And it's dead, but it works still. But back in 1998, while I was in college, I started the Crawlspace on Geocities back in the day. So this is what the show, we're going to celebrate a little of the history. We're going to take live callers and a couple ways that you can do this. Let's see. I'm going to put the banner at the bottom. If you would like to leave a voicemail, we'll play it on the air. I'll preview it. Luckily, they give me the closed captioning of what you guys say. I just don't want to insult anybody's mother right off the top for the first caller.
Can I say that I like being the center square? I feel very Paul Lind right now.
I'm all alone down here.
Good.
You
If
know?
we get two more, we'll fill out the bottom row with Chi-Town.
Oh,
The
All right.
voicemail. We
Oh,
have a
this
new
is
crawl
MySpace.
space. No, this
Get it?
is
MySpace.
Facebook. Yeah, YouTube. We have a new crawl space voicemail line 417-986-3338. And I have gotten email notifications through the last hour that people have been leaving us voicemail, so we'll play those. If you would like to be on the live caller portion, here's how I'm going to do it. Send me an email at crawlspacemail@gmail.com. I will reply to you with the StreamYard code. You click on it. It'll activate your camera and your microphone, and you can be down on that bottom row with Chi-Town or Mike.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, because George's crumbs were starting to fall on my bald head.
Well, also because you have to have some synergy there, actually. So I think all the guys with the no hair should go on top, and then
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I put because I got that Crawlspace logo up there. JR's got a lot of headroom, so I put it up there. Hobby's got a little bit of extra room there, so I put the spider head there.
Okay.
There's no crumbs on this. It's a meat stick.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
Well,
there's a
I
quote.
felt something on my head. You didn't sneeze on me, did you?
I haven't heard that referred to a meat stick in a long time.
Oh my god!
Right now, I'm feeling like Bobby from the Brady Bunch.
Wow. Guess who our first Guess who our first viewer is wishing us happy anniversary? Ron Friends in the house. Happy anniversary.
Hey!
What's going on, Ron?
Dude, that's awesome.
Love.
Oh my God.
It's so cool.
Ron, we love you.
I never
feel like
thought-
I need to stand at attention now. mean,
I know, right?
wow.
If I could go back in time to me in the mid 80s reading
Yeah.
ASM and say, hey, by the way, this guy whose poster is on your door.
Did you have the old and the new poster like I did?
Yes, the old and the new
Yes.
poster. I had that
Love
on
that
my
one.
door back
Did
in
too.
middle school, and I'm like, one day this guy will watch you talk about Spider-Man, and I would say, yeah, you're high on crack. That's not going to happen. Thank you, Ron Friends.
The Crawlspace logo is covering my Ron Friends
Oh,
commission
hold
that
on.
he did for me
Yes.
this last year.
Well, that's
So,
not going to do.
You can't
Hold
see
on.
it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Ron, you can see
top
your
picture.
art on the back of Hobby's wall. Let me blow
Yeah,
Hobby
there
up.
you go. I can't. There we go. Right
Yeah.
there
That is a
is
beautiful
symbiote
piece of Ron.
Spidey and MJ
Oh,
by
nice.
Mr. Ron Friends. So I couldn't be happier with it, Mr. Friends. Thank you very
I'm
much.
not really a shoe guy, but those are some of the best shoes on Mary Jane I've ever seen. Like,
They're awesome.
They look
The
like
little
spider
web
webs
design.
on her feet. So,
You know it's going to be good when someone leads off with, I'm not really a shoe guy.
well,
Who
wait a
talks
minute.
about a shoe?
What was
Honestly,
your quote? This isn't a cracker;
Oh,
it's
the
a meat
Marcos?
stick. What did you say?
No, that's what it is, Brad. Deli style beef sticks. Literally, it's what it is. It's
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay. People are emailing me left and right. Let's see who wants to be on the show. Brent wants to be on the show. Let me send Brent. If you're watching, I'm going to send you the StreamYard link.
this is always a technical nightmare.
Well,
This is-
I haven't done live callers through StreamYard before. Brent, I just sent it to you. Check your email.
We have done this before.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
usually
Remember-
had somebody else do it. Like because
I
we had a
didn't do the
control
email
guy.
thing before.
Oh.
I did
No.
like
Okay.
the Facebook DM before. I'm trying
We-
email this time.
Okay.
Holy cow, the voicemails. A little bit of history before we get Brent on the line. I've got, let's see here. Let me close this. I want to show you, I went back to what my original URL was on Geocities before I bought the domain name. Oh, good Lord, Venkman. Happy 15th.
Oh,
Wow.
Thank you, Venkman. Oh
Wow.
my gosh. That is
Here,
so
let me
nice, man.
let me pop open my lower.
No,
button
no.
here.
Here, take it
No,
away.
we
Put
don't
your
do
clothes
that.
back
That's
on,
perfect.
George.
it's not the $100
I
I should have bought, I should
Your
have bought like
mother's
one of those
watching.
little. I should have bought one of those like little like streamer things for every time you get like a
Oh
donation
wow,
like
that's
that.
so
you know.
that's so generous, man. Thank you very much. That's really nice. Power Packers, holy crap, friendo. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's really nice.
Wow.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
What was I saying? Venkman distracted me.
He does that.
Geocities.
Manipulator,
that.
but
You were talking GeoCities.
Geocities. I
In
went
your
back to the
original
Wayback
Word.
Machine,
Mm-hmm.
and the original address of the crawl space was, where was it? It was
Geocities.Spider-Man.
Geocities. Let me go back. Oh, let me undo this. I thought I had the right tab open. Let me go back.
Now was this because this was the one where you had the yellow spider webs in the background, right? Yeah,
Spider.
and it was like on a
web.
brick or something. There was one of those things with like a brick,
Mhm.
one of the brick background things or something like that.
Mhm.
So here
I
we go.
seem to
I got it
remember.
now. Okay. It was Geocities /Area 51 /Vault /7930 /main.html. That was 1998. That was the address of the crawl space.
Wow.
Luckily, the Wayback Machine caught one capture in 1998, I think. No, it's 2000. Let me go back here. Nothing in 2000? 2001, they caught a picture of it. Here it is. On June 9th. Let's take a look what the crawl space looked like in 1998.
Whoa. Look at
There you
that.
go.
Yes,
I
I
remember
You
that.
remember this?
Wow.
I remember
Yeah.
the crawling Spider-Man.
Look how much it's changed.
Crawling spider. And here's my guest book down here with the spinning spider heads. What's new with the site? Let's see what I did. I used to date it. 411, updated the news section. This used to be a thing on websites where you used to click on the what you did.
Thank God
Oh,
we've come
yeah.
as far as we have.
I added a new poll. The
Mhm.
poll asks, who should be Mary Jane in the new Spider-Man movie? I say Kirsten Dunst. What do you guys think?
No, Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. Well, she wasn't.
I
wasn't
think she
old
would
enough,
make
was
a
she?
great Gwen Stacy. I don't know. Maybe.
But this you used to put on
No.
message boards down here. Used to be a little banner image. I had weird Marvel collectibles even back in the 90s, with such as the toilet paper, the Aunt May,
And this back when you had the risque.
the risque.
Yeah, you used to have like Marvel. What did you
Oh.
have, like Marvel Babes or something? Or
There it is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel porn.
Yeah, no, I did not. I had a babe that was super baby. There you go. No, but yes. Yeah. All right.
This
So
used to
that
be
was,
like, there
we
used to
were
be
in
like a
college,
pinup
Brad. It makes
section
sense.
that
I was 20.
yeah,
got
it was a different
little
time.
It
spicy.
was. If you go, the message board is still active. I clicked on it. Look at this. Back in 1999, there's something new from 1999 from Mike Fett. I remember Mike Fett and a user by the name of Black. Let's see. Hey, Mike, I just got to your message from 1999. Let me click on what you said.
Oh, no.
Oh, I can't read it.
Aw.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mike. Took me.
It probably said all good things.
It did. Did it? Does anybody remember this message board? The look of it back when it was.
This is
a
how the
bird?
Avaro board still looks.
I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that if you look at the logo, that is straight up scanned off of Todd McFarlane's #1 letter pages. It was called Crawlspace, and this web went down the bottom of the web of the letter pages. So that's where Crawlspace was inspired from. So that is what it looked like back in 1998.
We lost Mike.
Oh no.
Did we? We did. And we never had our person who I emailed the link to.
Wait a minute. If Brad went back in time, did you do something that might erase the existence of Mike on the crawl space? Brad, what did you do?
Wait.
Oh, no. Oh, speaking of, Vinkman wants to be on. So
Oh!
let me get,
we got to get that guy on.
let me get Vinkman in.
Like $100 just gets you on the show. Please, we're not that cheap. Bateman.
Wonder
All
if he's
right.
going to look like Bill Murray. Will he look like Bill
better.
Murray?
Vinkman,
Wouldn't that be
check your
something?
email. I just wrote you back. I just saw the email.
Wait,
I heard a
you
beep.
guys haven't
here's-
seen Binkman?
No.
He
Oh.
was on the,
I mean,
was he on the
have
Big
you?
Joe
Yeah.
show?
Here we go. We've got Brent. What's going on, Brent?
Brent.
How are you, sir?
Hey,
Hey,
Brent.
how
Where are you
guys
calling
doing?
from, Brent?
Hey, I'm from Los Angeles, California. How you guys
Oh,
doing?
okay.
How you doing?
Awesome.
How are you?
how are the how's it going out? You're safe from the fires and everything out there?
Yeah, doing well. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your anniversary.
Thanks, man.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. What, tell me when you first came to the crawl space. Do you have any funny memories of it, or how you discovered it?
Oh yeah, I always enjoy you guys and the videos you make. But I actually started with JR's website way back in the day.
Spidey kicks butt.
He made a converter for life, and then when he transitioned over to the podcast, I listened to those, and then I made the jump over to the videos you guys made.
I
Oh,
am flattered.
awesome.
I am honored.
All right, let me just put you two together. Hold on. There you go. There.
Aw.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Brad, this is how we get treated. All right.
Oh, sorry. Here, Mike. Let me get that off your head.
Special
Hold
to
on.
be with all
There
of
you
you
go.
guys.
Thank you.
What happens if I do this? Oh no! Don't do that.
Oh,
Brad's
man.
ADD kicks in here on the anniversary show. You hate to see it.
Lower third? No, that covers George up.
as long as he doesn't start
There,
Googling
no.
things, I think we'll be all right.
Any
You
funny
haven't got to that
memories,
part yet.
Brent, of the watching throughout the years? What year did you start visiting or listening?
I started listening to the podcast maybe like about 5-6 years ago, and
Okay.
I only recently realized there was a YouTube video of podcasts now, so that was pretty recent. But a
Yeah.
fun memory I have was you did the trivia game last year, and I participated in that, and I gave an answer that cracked you all up. I think it was Hulk Smash or something like that. Hulk Smash
Oh.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
What's your favorite thing to see on the website?
Yeah, that's a good question.
My favorite thing to see on the website, probably the reviews. I really like the
Hold it.
anti-slot kind of slant, so it was
Let me put
nice.
Chi-Town and you together now. Okay.
Wait a minute, he didn't say it was Chi-Town's reviews.
He didn't.
liked.
He didn't say that.
True,
No.
he
He
didn't.
could. He
Alright.
could. He could like Dark Marks.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
JR got upset. He got
Mhm.
moved. Okay, go ahead.
I like all the reviews you guys do, but I kind of feel the same way. I like the older comics more than the Brand New Day era or anything like that. So it's just
Mhm.
nice to get that perspective rather than, people just giving Marvel too much credit or something.
How have you enjoyed Spencer's run?
It's definitely been a step up. I agreed with you or whoever said that the beginning was a little better. I'm kind of hoping he undoes one more day when he leaves, but
Right.
we'll have to see how it goes.
Welcome back, Mike.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. A little bit of an internet.
This
Problem?
is Brent. He's from the Church of JR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
When did you start reading Spider-Man, Brent?
I started reading Spider-Man when I was very young, probably like right around the Clone Saga started. I was an early reader.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I
Sorry.
hung on that. Well, I have
Everybody
more
starts
memories
somewhere, man.
for whatever reason, but yeah, I hung on through the Mackie run, and I like Krasinski and
My God, you're
and I
You
kind
have
of pictured up.
You have some scars.
I really did.
Yeah,
I just-
you were there in the trenches with us. Yeah, you were there with us 20 years ago.
I
That's
kind of got lost during the slot run. I kind of stopped reading them, but I kept up with you guys, so I kind of got filled in with the gaps.
Yeah.
from the site.
We read the bad comics so you wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Brent. Ryan says, "God bless you, man." All right. Any other questions? For a lot is hung on during. I want to call in, but I'm starstruck by JR. Oh my God!
Mhm.
We're all
Look at this.
starstruck. He's the god of the Spider-Verse.
He's the
Yep.
god of the
Wow.
goblins. Our hero,
the
Norman
Godfather.
Osborn. All right, Brent. Any questions for us that you'd like to ask, or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you just want to talk to JR? I don't.
No, just congratulations on
Thanks, man.
being there for so long, and I always enjoy what you guys have to say. And yeah, it's just really fun to kind of put on the videos sometimes, especially with the live chat or whatever, and just kind of feel like you're participating. So
No doubt.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, Brad, make sure you go to our Discord page. You can talk to us all the time there. if you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
already
Join
there.
up on Discord if you're not in the Discord.
Yes, Discord
Yep.
is our new message board, essentially.
I'll definitely have to
Yep.
check it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Brent. Well, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for being a fan and listening so long, man.
Oh yeah, thank you
Yep.
so much. Appreciate
All
it.
right,
Thanks
man.
for
Have a
stopping
good
by.
night.
Hi, Brad.
Take it easy, Brent.
Right.
See you guys.
Awesome.
gonna-
What a nice dude.
I'm gonna have to insist that you continually put me back in the center square.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm just I
Wow.
gotta. I'm gonna
Just
have.
wow.
There we go. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, that's better.
Now I'm alone.
Hobby. I don't think I've moved Hobby
Yeah.
at all.
There we go.
I'll take for one for the
This-
team. I'll
this-
be down.
Oh, there we go, Brad.
This literally is a Brady Bunch montage.
If we had,
Yeah.
but say if we had 2 more squares, we could do Brady Bunch.
Well,
Mhm.
you asked for
George,
another
what you're
square.
saying is that you're the Alice. Is that
I'm the Alice.
it?
No,
George is the
George is
Alice.
the
No,
um,
George is Alice.
George is
You
Alice.
asked for another square. We've got another square. Vinkman in the house. What's going on? Thank you for the donation, sir. That's very nice. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Can't hear him. Aw.
Can't hear
hear
him.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Can't hear
Adjust
you.
your mic settings.
Your
I think
mic
his
settings,
internet's lagging a
dude.
little bit.
Yep.
But in the meantime, we also have a nice donation from Brian. Thank
Hey,
you,
Brian. Thank
Nice,
you,
man.
Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much.
Ryan says George is Alice.
bell.
So
I'll be Alice. Hey, Brady Bunch. Alice was kind of badass.
she was. But you gotta make out with Sam the Butcher.
Hey, George, no, not George. Venkman, we still can't hear you.
Yeah, Vinkman, we can't hear you, man. It's
Weekends do. You
Spider-Man
look great.
Squares. He's
Oh,
going to try to come back in.
It's
Okay.
Spider-Man Crawlspace squares.
Yeah, Venkman,
Yeah.
if you can hear us, you may want to adjust your mic settings and choose the right one
In the cam mic, in your cam mic on the
Steam
Yeah.
Duck Space. What is this thing called? StreamYard.
Yeah.
Duck Space.
Duck Space.
I couldn't remember the name, and I saw the duck, and I was like,
Spider-Man
Duck
Duck
Space.
Space. Yeah.
Duck Space Cam.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Nintendo Duck Hunt images come to me.
That's so funny.
I used to play that back in the day.
Again, if you would like to join, like Vinkman and Brent, it was Brent, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Brent.
Wow.
Yes.
Gee, how soon
No,
do
it's
we
How
forget?
quickly they forget.
Kelly, wait till you're 46. Yeah.
Mhm.
Email crawlspacemail@gmail.com. I will email you the StreamYard link for you to join us, and you can be on, ask us a question, or share any funny memories, etc.
And if you're on from Sweden, we'll ask if you like ABBA.
Yeah, I still remember that episode.
I do too,
Vinkman
because
again.
JR
Let's see if
keeps
we got him.
referring to it, and I keep reminding him all the time that the person I asked, in fact, said yes.
Vinkman, can we hear you? Can you hear us?
Oh, we still can't hear you, Venkman.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh, and he's frozen too.
Yeah.
Oh.
His
it's-
internet's logging.
Mhm.
Mr.
Kind of like a
Comics-
Wang Chung video or something, you know?
Mr. Comic says he'd love to join. You can email crawlspacemail@gmail, and I will shoot you the link. Okay. Okay. Poor Vinkman.
I know,
Oh,
this
man.
is horrible. This is,
Oh.
I heard a
I heard-
I
crackle.
heard some
I heard a
static.
crackle,
I heard a
Vinkman.
crackle.
Is that? How about now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
Ah, there we
Welcome,
go.
man. Thank you for the
Thankfully.
donation, super chat. You're awesome, man. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Mhm.
It's like you're calling from the moon or something, you know?
I know.
It is. It is kind of like a moon base, like you're calling from the International Space Station or something. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Vinkman, tell us where in the world
Yeah.
you're calling from, so the viewers can know. United States.
I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Massachusetts. Got it.
All right.
Awesome. Eric says Vinkman's good
Yeah.
to go. There you go. So,
Mhm.
Vinkman, tell us about how you discovered the crawl space.
Ah.
Did you discover the podcast or the website first, or how did it bring you here?
I discovered the podcast in 2013 during the Superior Spider-Man era. I
Oh.
wasn't reading the book at the time, but I still wanted to keep up with what was going on. So
Mhm.
I discovered
Yeah.
the podcast and I started
So you-
listening, and it was an episode of
I was just
but
going to say,
it
so
was
you
an
discovered
episode of
the-
Spider
the what-
History.
You discovered it. I hate the delay.
Spider
I'm sorry,
history
man.
is what he was saying.
Spider history. He discovered. So you discovered the podcast first, and then went to the website. I'm thinking is what he said.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Spider
And it's-
history, nothing but the truth.
All right.
Let's not get- let's
Thank
not
you.
get-
it was
JR
spe-
again.
it-
There we go.
Let's not get carried away about
Oh.
that, Fettinger.
Yeah, it was specifically. It was the one where it was the ghost was that one was. I think that was one where. I think they were. I think JR's description of the scene where Doc Ock is eating like a bucket of chicken, it just killed me.
Yeah.
That's funny. Any funny besides the bucket of chicken? Any other funny memories you have from 15 years of podcasting?
Oh, where to start? There's.
I like the time that you told me to raise my standards, and I said no.
Well, you do need to raise your standards.
No. Any what's some what one comes to mind? One of your funny memories?
Oh. Well, see, I'm trying to, because I actually was on the first, I think, call-in show you did on YouTube a couple years ago, and I don't want to give the same answers I gave there.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Well, how about this, Vink?
well, it's not necessary.
How about you give us one of your favorite memories about any of the crawl spacers right here, right now? We'll start with Brad. Go. He laughs.
He's winding up. He's
Well, I think
Shaitan just pitched him something.
It's okay to say he sucks.
well,
If that's the first thing on your mind, and you're like, Brad kind of sucks. I mean, it's
We
Nah,
lost
nah.
George suddenly.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
You were saying?
you can't handle the truth.
I got my finger right
Here,
on the
here we
button.
go.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I love you.
Yeah.
Any funny
Well, I do
memories of
love
any of the
just enjoy. Well, not necessarily funny memories, but I do. But I always enjoy whenever Kelly talks about her cosplay experiences and the type of interaction she's had with fans at conventions. You know, it always warms my heart and makes me, feel good. So, it's like I always like to say I always like to say Kelly is the goodwill ambassador to Mayday Parker. Oh, hi there.
Very true.
Mhm.
I know no bigger fan than Kelly.
Yep.
No bigger fan.
I want to say something to Venkman.
Yeah.
I really appreciate, sir, how much you support us.
Yes.
Be it on the main show, on the satellite show. You're always commenting on Facebook, on Discord.
Oh yeah.
You're a vital member of this community, and I really appreciate how you interact with everybody.
Oh yeah,
And you've always got a interesting point of
thank
view
you.
to share, and I like seeing all your posts, man. So
Me too.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you aboard.
Yeah, yeah.
And Vinkman,
Thank you.
We're Facebook friends, and I think some point, if you're willing, we may do just a Spider Collector episode with you, because you have a hell of a collection, don't you? If you want to show it off. I don't mean to ask you live on air in front of all these people.
Yeah, put him on the spot, Brad.
Way to put him on blast.
Yeah.
Douglas.
Maybe in a couple years, because
Okay,
right.
no problem.
Well, two things. One, it's not really set up in a way to really show off the way you have a lot of the other excellent collectors, and also it's like, even if I did, it's sort of like, I think the difference between me and a lot of them, they tend to be what are known as franchise completists. So like their collections are almost exclusively Spider-Man related. My Spider-Man collection is mixed in all the other stuff I collect. So there's can be like vintage Star Wars, Playmates, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Transformers, other Marvel Legends, superpowers, Secret Wars, things like that. So it's not.
Oh, I mean, Brad's got Muppets
really.
and Brad's got Muppets and Chucky in that room with him.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. By the way, are y'all watching the Olympics and they're playing Chucky, the TV show commercials in the middle of it? I'm just
Are
like,
they really?
look at the swimming. Oh, and Chucky's coming to Sci-Fi and USA. Yes, I would. You know what? If Spider-Man wasn't my number one, I would have a Chucky podcast. I really would.
Oh, really?
I thought you were about to say if murder was an Olympic sport. So I'm glad you went a different direction with that.
Well, I can kind of see it because these how many movies now?
What'd you say, Mike?
How many Chucky movies have they made so far? It seems
They've
like
made
7,
seven, and we lost Finkman.
Oh dear.
No.
And if memory serves, Javi, your wife or is a I'm sorry, the fiance.
She is a Chuckaholic.
Big Chuckaholic. So
oh dear.
Yes, she is. She's actually disappointed because we don't have any of those. We don't have Sci-Fi or USA, so she doesn't know how we're going to watch the show. But like, she's got.
Oh yeah, I've got both of those, man.
Ooh.
I've got both of them.
They've
made several Chucky pops.
You should get that. You should get that Sling TV, Javi.
Yeah, that's for Dish.
Also,
Dish
it should be on Hulu, because if it's being played on NBC, then it's a part of the NBC Universal lineup, which means it should be on Hulu, or it'll wind up on Peacock.
Yep.
Are there any
cool.
sci-fi shows on Hulu, Kelly? I don't even know of a
believe
sci-fi
so.
show.
Yeah, generally they'll show up. They might not. I don't know if all of the episodes show up. I think it's only like maybe the latest 5. But the thing is if they're playing it on
Okay.
NBC, it means it's an NBC Universal show, which means it should. If it doesn't show up on Hulu, it's going to show up on Peacock, and Peacock is literally $5 a month with commercials, and you get yourself an ad blocker, and you're done.
Oh,
cool. I'll look into
See what
that.
happens
Thanks.
when you mention the red-headed doll, George? I go off. I'm gone. Vinkman, I think your connection's a little bit better. Any questions for us or anything you'd like to ask us?
Ask away.
Oh, I do. Well, I do have a little request for JR. It's something
Request
he's
for JR.
It's something a lot of us have wanted him to cover on Spider History for a long time. I'm going to show off visual aids. You can guess before.
Oh yeah, you got some Norman. There you go. Oh no!
Oh no!
We've gone down that road.
Venkman's going to the territory of
not that one. Not that one.
Don't make them start kissing and
that
stuff.
one.
Oh yeah, don't make them make out. Stop.
Oh, not that. Okay,
Kelly.
Kelly, no, Kelly, please.
What?
Kelly,
what is
ASM
this?
121 and 122? Is that what you're wanting, Vinkman?
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Okay.
He wants the death of Gwen Stacy, JR.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll have to see when the what months. What months are those issues?
We've recorded September, so we have October, November, and December left to record new episodes. So,
but I mean, usually it's like I try to do them when the months that were
when the issue came out.
Yeah. So what months did those come out, or what was the date of those covers? So that's usually when I try to do them. So because I know we've done.
I know.
Because that's when George came up with the start of the horrible rumor that I made things up. So during our Since Past podcast,
horrible rumor is JR's code phrase for provably correct.
121 has got a June cover date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is funny because because the last Spider History I was taking requests, and almost everybody's request had summer cover dates. They all had cover dates around the same time. So I'm trying to. I'll discuss that more when we do Spider History again. But that was kind of like, how am I going to fit all these in? So.
Yeah, I know you kind of avoided it because you keep saying, "Oh, we talked about this," but we hear talk about this.
Yeah. I mean, it's so classic. It's been talked about so much. It's one of those things where what could I say that was different? But I can always give it a whirl. I mean, it's like I said, if I can do Facade, I can surely do the death of Gwen Stacy, and Facade was a request. So
yeah.
In that particular issue, clearly it was proven that Mary Jane is the true love of Peter Parker, not Gwen Stacy. I mean, it's right there. It's right there in black.
Frozen still waiting on that Isle-Ock War Spider History. I think we've done that one, haven't we?
No, we haven't.
We covered it on Friday Night Fights.
Friday Night Fights. Yeah, no doubt.
But that is an exception to the summer rule. So November.
Oh, look, Vinkman, you got your wish. November, he says.
No. It was whoever asked for Al Octopus.
Oh, well, hell. You didn't even give Vinkman his wish.
Yeah.
Well, Vinkman's wish is like stacked with everyone else's in June,
Well, technically, though, shouldn't it become 2 months earlier because the cover dates on comics are actually 2 months ahead of time?
No, we always do the cover dates because that's easier for us to.
JR,
because particularly now in the modern era, the cover dates almost don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, I know.
We could break the rule. I mean, I just implemented that years ago.
I am a I play by the rules, Brad.
Oh,
you know. So
I can't. Comet says I can't wait to hear JR's voice as he throws Gwen off the bridge.
You actually you can hear that. You can hear that. All you have to do is check in on
Whip Studios.
Whip Studios.
He does the Clone Saga, and in the first part of the Clone Saga, he covers the death of Gwen Stacy. And I get to say, she's dead, Spider-Man. She's dead.
Well, I just got a flashback of.
You'll not be long apart. You'll soon join her.
I found my new ringtone.
You want that?
Yes.
He does. Glutton for punishment there, Venkman. All right.
I feel like JR by this time next year is going to be up in the. Oh, go ahead.
What, Venkman?
Well, actually, I do have a question for the whole camp. Do you remember what your earliest Spider-Man collectible was?
I can actually tell you right off the bat. It was, I think you can kind of count this as a collectible. It was one of the original Power Records of Draco featuring Draco and the Dragon Man.
Yep. Yes.
In fact, that was actually technically, you could probably count that as my first quote unquote Spider-Man comic that I ever had.
Yeah.
Which
you
was
remember how that record started? It's two kids making out on the hill.
Yep.
And then the dragon just walks up and interrupts them.
Yeah, it's basically technically it starts off as an astronomy lesson because it so you see you can judge basically how you can find the Big Dipper and how you can find Cassiopeia from the Big Dipper and how you can find Polaris and where you can find Draco and the Dragon Man. And it's like it's like some accurate kind of stuff and everything like this. But it was but I was like I played the heck out of that thing when I was a kid.
I did too, man.
Yeah.
My mom and grandma and grandpa thought I was reading at an early age, like age 2 or 3, because I was playing that Power Record, and they thought I was reading it. But I was originally doing what Mike just did, which was reciting it. Little did they know I wasn't a genius. JR could have told him he was already in his 40s at that point. But
that was the conceit of the Power Records. We're supposed to read along with it as it played.
Yeah. While we're waiting for Venkman, I just want to say real quick, based on JR's performance earlier, I was going to say that by this time next year, he's going to be in the Catskills, like doing dinner theater, like in a one-man play of Misery, where he plays Kathy Bates and James Caan.
Nice. Venkman, this is mine.
My internet.
Young Chi-Town. Young Chi-Town.
That's a picture too of you. What book is that? I don't know what that book is.
Oh, you did have you did have a
pop-up one.
Wow,
I did. Yeah, I did have it.
Is it the pop-up book, Spider-Man pop-up?
Yeah, you can see it right. If you blow up, you see the tab right next to my face.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So, like, what, you took it to bed with you or something? I mean,
I was reading it and I had my nap.
Yeah.
Let's go around the horn.
I do that at work.
Kelly, first Spider-Man memory or collectible, or what was your answer?
I mean, my first memory is the quarter bin or dollar bin, as it is now, at a comic book store and finding Spider-Man comics. I just can't tell you which one it is, but I guess honestly, my first collectible might have been like Spider-Man Bubble Bath. If I really think back on it, because Spider-Man is and has been everywhere. Merchandise
everywhere.
Crap out of for years. So I would say I think my first merch memory is Bubble Bath. Like I think it was
still use the Spider-Man Bubble Bath?
They still make it.
Yeah, they do still make it. I mean, maybe, but like it's always like fruit punch or grape or something.
Who wants to take a bath in fruit punch? That's awkward.
You'd be surprised.
My first comic and memory is this Marvel Team Up Annual number 2 from 1979. I guess.
Of course, it features the Hulk.
It has the Hulk. And the reason I wanted this, because it was yelling at me off the spinner rack, because I watched Spider-Man on the Electric Company, and I watched Hulk with the Bill Bixby show, and I'm like, peanut butter and jelly. I mean, peanut butter and chocolate. This should be great. So it's Spider-Man holding two giant ball. That's anyway. That's my first. It was a 75-cent comic. It was a king size annual. Look at that thing.
Wow,
beautiful, beautiful. We've got Peter. We've got Kelly. Said it. I said it. George, what was your first collectible memory?
Mine would be. It was Marvel Team Up number 37. When you had it was Spider-Man and the Man-Wolf. This was
that's a good one too.
Yeah, this is when it was Frankenstein's monster, Spider-Man, and Dr. Von Stumpf or something like that. I think that was the bad guy's name. But that was back in like 75. It was the first comic that my first comic my mom had ever bought me. I don't think my mom, who's watching the show still, because she just sent me a text telling me not to pick my teeth on camera. I don't know if she remembers that or not, but that's the first comic that she ever bought me. When I was a kid.
Have it right there. There it is, right there. Team Up 37. That's a good looking cover.
And
you probably started your love of the monsters too.
Yeah, and I drew dinosaurs in it because I thought Spider-Man should fight some dinosaurs as well.
Isn't
or Stegron?
What issue does Stegron come in? Is it 39? Black Panther issue, I think.
Yeah, it was. I'm looking through my list here.
I got Pinkman. He's back. There he is.
I think it was. I think it might have actually been earlier.
I don't remember. So we got that issue. Javi, what's your first memory?
The first comic I remember was Marvel Tales 142, which is ASM number 5 with Dr. Doom. But the first collectible that I remember, before Secret Wars, there was this Mego Pocket Superheroes. They weren't the dolls that Toy Fair used to use. They were like Star Wars size figures. I had a Batman and I had a Spider-Man. And I sent you the photos, Brad, of what they look like.
Oh, I'm just Googling them right now. Hold on.
Yeah. And that's the first Spider-Man figure or first Spider-Man anything I remember having as a kid. But like Mike, I had that Power record. I wound up finding that at a comic shop again about
there you go
12 years ago and buying it
back. It's like Spider-Man in your blue jeans.
I like he wasn't the most articulated or detailed, but you know, at 5 years old, that was good enough for me back then. That was Spider-Man.
That's cool. I never had those. I had the regular Barbie size, I guess.
Yeah, the ones with the
JR, when the Big Bang happened, and then
well, the cave drawings actually.
You like the Ditko cave drawings, huh?
Did they have toy manufacturing in the 1800s? Don't.
You know, it's funny. I mean, of course, you guys think you're so clever and everything.
We are.
But,
I wonder if JR changed Stanley's diapers.
But you know, Spider-Man really wasn't. I'm really good. Really, there wasn't that much. It was difficult to get merchandise when I was growing up because, one, where I lived. I mean, I lived in southwestern Indiana, and things weren't merchandised to death in the 70s. I mean, I don't remember them being merchandised to death.
You had Mego, and that was about it, man.
Well, that was even in the mid to late 70s. But the first Spider-Man collectible I remember getting, and actually I've mentioned this before because somebody knew what I was talking about. But they were just like these. Plastic mold figures, or I mean, just and like the Spider-Man one was, and he was holding his arms up and he had web pits, you know, and it was all they were solid colors, and this was a solid blue, and he had like you could see his eyes. I mean, it was, I remember those, but it was like one of that was the very first one.
Wasn't it like wasn't like part of a board game or something? I thought.
No, it wasn't. I mean, but they did all the Marvel superheroes because I know that my brother had a Hulk and there was a Daredevil and maybe an Iron Man. and but they were solid colors. They weren't. And then somebody once showed me after I mentioned this and showed me that there were multiple colors of Spider-Man green and yellow and red and everything. But that was the very first one I got. I think it cost $0.25 or something like that. But that's the first actual Spider-Man collectible. I'm hoping I still have it somewhere, but some things have disappeared over the years.
I think the only person that hasn't answered the question is Venkman, who asked the question. What was your first Spider-Man collectible?
Well, I have it on. Give me a second. I have it on the other room.
You have it?
On the side of the room.
All right.
Oh,
by the way, after we answer this last part, we're gonna bring some more people in.
Okay.
I've got 3 people that have emailed me that want to be on, so we will add them one at a time. I've also got 4 voicemails.
Hey,
I'll play for the anniversary show. Okay, Vinkman, I'm gonna full screen you. Let me see what you got. Oh yeah, I just bought that.
Nice.
Oh, the Spider Super Story thing. Oh.
Check out Danny Seagram on the other side of it.
Yep.
Flip it over. John Romita art on the front.
God, that is some awesome art.
Danny Seagram.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
this is actually.
Go ahead, Vinkman. I'm sorry.
This actually is one of my earliest Spider-Man collectibles that I had actually I guess. I had some Spider stuff before I actually became Spider-Man fan because I was aware of Spider-Man, but hadn't fit by it yet.
Well, Vinkman, you're really breaking up. I think your internet's
a couple
on its
months
last
away.
leg. But, I appreciate your support, as we all have said. You are one of the biggest supporters of the Crawlspace, and I thank you so much, man. It's an honor to have you as a member of the family. So, all right, Vinkman, you have a good night, man.
Thank you very much.
See you on the Discord, sir.
Take care.
Good night.
See you, man.
Take care. Take care.
All right, he's just a good dude. Just a good dude.
100%.
Let's see. We've got. Let me see who also wants to be on.
During these commercial breaks, Brad, you should have prepped some Oscorn commercials to run while you're bringing in a guest from the green room.
Some Oscorn. All right, Daniel, I just sent you the StreamYard link. Michael Reed wants to join. I am sending you the link. And Ryan Reed wants to join. So it's a bunch of Reeds want to get on here. Ryan Reed says, thank you, Venkman. Yes, thank you, Venkman. Mr. Comics 89, I think if you sent it to that email, I just sent it. I've got sent the 3 people that emailed me just now. Let's see. Do you want to do some voicemail? You want to do some voicemail? Let's test
it out.
Let's see if you guys can hear this. This is a test, so I'm going to hit play here.
Hey,
Crawlspace.
Oh, hold on. What do you say? Let me.
Yeah, we were talking over his.
From Southern Colorado.
Hold on. I'm going to rewind him. Come on back. All right, here we go.
Hey, Crawlspace. This is Mr. Comics 89 from Southern Colorado. I absolutely love your podcast. I listen to you guys every single time. You have a podcast and all that. I've listened to all the back issues. I'm a big Amazing Spider-Man collector, and I just I'm working on a full run, and I've almost got there, like 70 issues left to go. But you guys are amazing and so funny. I don't know how many times I've literally had to stop listening because I was crying so hard I was laughing. It was just you, JR, Brad, JR, George, and the rest of the.
His audio's going down.
You guys are just, the way you interconnect with each other is just awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for what you guys do, and keep doing it. I cannot wait to continue watching. So have a good day and a happy anniversary.
Hey man, that was really nice. Thank you so much. We've got I'll play one more. Let's see. Here we go.
So entertaining from Miami, Florida.
We got a Miami, Florida.
Just to wish you a happy 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary.
Podcast. Brad, you've really done a great job. You bring the whole Spider Gang all together, and I discovered you 5 years ago, and I haven't stopped following you since. I wish I knew you more than that, but thanks for everything, and I appreciate the colleagues and Cass and everything, and just want to wish you happy 15 years and another 15 years more. You've done a great job, and happy Spider-Man Day. Thanks, Brad.
There you go.
Okay, now I want to step in here because I want to go back to the thanks for college and cash. Is there a college tuition program that
college fund
we haven't been made aware of? Number one, and number two, what about the cash?
I love that Google transcribed Brad as bad. I like that.
Yeah, it's like reading Spider-Man Mad Libs, reading the transcription.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Right. I mean, everything made sense.
We have
Cross
one more
State was
caller.
the best.
Here we go.
Hey, friendos. This is James, Powerpacker 90 from Wisconsin. I'm not going to be able to call in live tonight, so I just wanted to say, hey, what's up, and congratulations on 15 years of podcasting. Here's the 15 more, guys.
Oh, that's really
you.
nice.
Oh,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We have Michael Reed in that. Oh, not with the vertical video. Come on, Michael Reed.
Whoa!
Brad
has been triggered for 15 years now.
I mean, let's just be glad, like it's not anybody nude.
Hey, now
this is my biggest fears that we're going to go to. All right, let's go to this guy in Annapolis, Maryland, and it's just a guy with shirtless, maybe his gongs out.
Sorry.
Michael Reed, can you hold your camera horizontal, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's much better.
It doesn't have that auto adjustment. Here, why don't we all go like this? We can all go like this and go sideways.
I don't know how to do it. Made me
we can all go sideways so we can all fit in.
Is it an iPhone you've got?
Can't tell.
Yeah, I think he's on his phone. Just it's
okay.
fine. It's fine.
All right, it's fine, Michael. You're fine.
Welcome, Michael. Tell us how you discovered the Crawlspace. Talk a bit about that. We'd love to hear your history.
Specifically, George might not like how I discovered. I was searching up Ben Reilly.
George came up.
He left.
I was searching for Ben Reilly, and George came up. Isn't that the ultimate hell for George? His name, he's been insulting Ben Reilly for so many years. Google said, hey, they're a team. They're connected.
Yeah, I was searching for Flower,
Wow. Michael Reed, would you like to be on the show permanently? I just lost one. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But honestly, it was just I was just searching for a Ben Reilly, like Scarlet Spider period, because it was around because I discovered you guys right around when Spider Island was done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, what's been happening with that stuff? Because I remember seeing it off of the cartoon, the whole costume and everything.
Right.
And then I discovered the Clone Saga Chronicles plus your podcast. So I saw two birds, one stone.
There you go. Hornacek says George is getting up and leaving. That's what's going to happen at the end of Spencer's run when Ben Reilly takes over ASM.
Yeah. By the way,
Much.
just out of curiosity, Mike, what's your opinion on the upcoming Spider-Man Beyond stuff with Ben Reilly supposedly coming back and all that stuff?
It felt random, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can see marriage, then I can see how you can get there, I just was like, that's not where I thought we would be going. If you told me a few years back, we're going to go back to Ben Reilly after he was crazy and doing stuff, I would be like, how do you connect the dots between the two?
Right. Oh yeah. So which I can kind of understand essentially because of the fact it's especially who knows because if he's still in that villainous phase, because I haven't been following what's been going on in that Iron Man series where he's supposed to be carrying in and all that.
He doesn't do much. He just is kind of a joke.
He's Flowers, so.
Yeah, right.
Ben 27. Any funny memories, Michael, of the 15 years of the podcast or the website or anything?
My favorite one, at least the one recent, this is the one that came into my mind when you were saying that.
Okay.
Is when you guys were talking about the bathroom. 20 minutes and everything. It's Hornacek's pointing out what was happening in the behind, because you guys were looking at the hotel room I think it
was.
the
hotel room.
Yeah.
The Kelly topic. I remember that.
Yeah.
And the Paris one. Paris Spider-Man hotel room.
I want to go to that room.
And I just thought it was really funny because I didn't think about, because it was like really late and I wasn't thinking about what I was typing when I was making the comment about you need your spider sense to go to the bathroom. And Sumio Bro like really was pointing out how like, why do you need spider sense to go to the bathroom? And I don't know, my brain just thought it was hilarious just because I was sleep deprived.
How do you listen to the show? Do you listen to it in your car? You listen to it
say with your ears. Say with your ears.
It was my ears initially, at least before. Like, I do both, but it depends on like if I'm available or anything. Like what I used to do was, since I discovered you guys when I was like fairly young, like I was like high school. When I was mowing the lawn, I would just be listening to George and you like complaining about JR not liking Secret Wars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing that for 15 years now.
Very sensitive topic to this day.
So he was operating heavy machinery, and JR could have caused an injury by his lack of I don't know.
I think it took me longer to mow the lawn, honestly.
Any questions for us or any? I like what Chi-Town had. He said, any funny memories of the panelists?
Funny memories? I can just think of, it's really hard because I listen to you guys. I listen to a lot of you guys like constantly. So it gets mixed in.
It's like you really can't pick out the one thing that I've done.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's been so many. Yeah. No, I get it. The struggle is real. I'm right there with you.
Right. Like specifically, like I think I really like hearing George complain about like, Iron Man Jr. That's pretty fun. And
that's always great.
Yeah. Because once you see him winding up, especially when it comes to Doctor Strange and everything.
Once you see Iron Man Jr. winding up, like if there's a switch in the back to crank and crank and crank.
I was thinking like a Woody doll, like you pull the string.
It's a Georgie doll.
Wait, do I have a Jesse? Hold on. I've got visual aids.
Oh, of Woody?
Well, no, Jesse.
Jesse.
There you go.
Get
out the hat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was going through my mind.
Here, let me full screen you. Let me pull her.
You know what would make that toy perfect is you pull the string and then suddenly it's like, when somebody loves me.
We'll just cry then.
Oh yeah.
This is the expensive one, so it might.
Here, let's hear it.
Oh, that's like from the actual movie.
So I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but full disclosure here, just to show you that I'm not a complete and total bastard, just semi. When Toy Story 2 came out, I saw it by myself at like the last showing at night, and it was just me in the theater. There wasn't anybody else in there. It had been out for like 3 weeks or so, and when that whole part came on with like Jesse being abandoned and the Sarah McLachlan song came on, I cried like a baby.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I am so glad there's no one here to see this and document this. I mean, I was bawling.
Toy Story 3 when they're sliding to get melted. I thought that was
really. And then I decided from there on, I was like, I think I don't ever see another Pixar movie in the theater. I think I'll see it on video in the safety of my own home, so no one sees my my grown ass man tears.
Toy Story 3 for me.
Yeah.
When they're saying, when Andy says, "Thanks, guys," and drives away, I just like, no.
I was just gonna say that this was one of the collectibles, and so like it had like the recreation of the box and everything. And I was literally driving on my way home because there's a whole story about my mom not buying me a Jessie doll as a child. So when I saw this, I spent way too much money to buy it for myself. And I'm sitting here driving home and I get stuck in traffic and the box is sitting here and I'm sitting here and it dawns on me. She's claustrophobic because she spent her life in the box. So I'm sitting here in traffic opening this thing to get her out, thusly ruining any value of this doll.
While Kelly's driving and avoiding anyone.
You don't want to end up like
all right. So
Buzz Lightyear suddenly.
Kelly had a story about her mom not getting her Jessie, and I don't know if my mom is still on the podcast or not. But so after Toy Story, or if she's still watching or not, but after Toy Story came on, oh God, no.
Okay, she's watching, isn't she?
Okay. She said, "Don't mention another toy that she didn't get me." Don't worry, I won't mention that one. She asked me one year after Toy Story came out. She was like, "Okay, I'm having a hard time figuring out what to get you for Christmas. What do you want?" And I said, "I want a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger."
Yeah.
And so she didn't take me seriously, I don't think. So Christmas came. I don't know when did Toy Story come out?
Like 99?
1995.
Yeah.
No, 1995, 1996.
1995. If it came out in 95, I would have been 23.
Okay.
So I said I want a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger. You know,
why not?
And so Mom was like, okay, whatever. So I got like a lot of socks and some other stuff. I mean, she didn't completely phone it in at Christmas or anything, but I still expected I would get a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger. And so like I'd opened up all my stuff and I'm looking around, waiting for somebody to pull it out behind a couch or something,
It's not there.
But it wasn't there. And my mom was like, "Oh, what did we miss something? Was there something that you actually wanted?" And I said, I wanted a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger. And then my mother's face went pale.
No.
Because then my mom was like, he literally told me he wanted a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger. And I guffawed. I didn't. So the next year I got my Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger. And this is it. This is the one from all the way back in the day.
Now, does he talk?
I don't know. His batteries are probably
right.
Oh, Vinkman says he got a Buzz Lightyear for his 12th birthday in 1996.
It's been so long, I forgot what all this thing did. This thing used to light up, but I guess the battery's dead on it.
Can you recreate his famous line, George?
To infinity and beyond.
There you go.
How's that? Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger.
Yeah. Michael, any questions for us before we get another one?
Sorry, we kind of hijacked your segment.
I have my own Woody, but I would have to leave. So,
yo, Jesus!
Wow!
Wow!
All right, Michael, glad to have you on the show.
What a friend we have in Jesus.
What a friend we have.
What a friend we have in Jesus. Yeah.
Oh,
you have a friend in me, right?
Wow!
That'll be immortalized now. Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad my mom doesn't watch this.
I'm glad my mom was here to hear you talk about your Woody.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, George. Was she watching when you were talking about your meat stick?
Stop.
Yeah, she told me not to pick my teeth after I ate them. I got reprimanded via text.
Oh God. Okay.
I love how Mike said that and says I would have to leave the room right after.
Purely unintentional.
I know.
Mike will do anything but love, but he won't do that.
Last question. Anything for us, Mike? What do you got?
I was just thinking because like Sinister War has like tons of Spider-Man villains now, and it made me kind of think like what Spider-Man villains that we haven't seen that you guys would like to see focused on.
I just mentioned to JR the Sins Past. I never even thought about putting that in the big broom of cleanup. But why not? Sins Past. Let's tackle that.
There's a lot of villains in there right now.
Right. I mean, they even have the bunny. What is their name? Rabbit.
White Rabbit.
White Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very underrated villain, by the way. JR will disagree, but he's wrong.
Did you see, George, last night, the Peter David interview when I said there's a White Rabbit Marvel Legend, and Peter David said, "I'm going to Amazon."
I did see that, and that was I had that going on while I was doing D&D prep for last night's D&D game. Yeah.
And I like how Brad takes any opportunity to whip out his Frogman and show it off.
All right, why not?
He had it at the ready. It was within arm's reach.
Well, he's my newest collectible, and I just got him. He's right here to my left. All right. Any other thoughts, gang, to answer his question? We have Sins Past. Anything else?
I like to see the Spot.
See the Spot come back in there? Well, Spencer's used the Spot.
Did he? I don't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, during Last Rites.
Yeah. And, yeah.
I forgot about that. He's used everything except the bathroom table, didn't he?
Oh, here we go. Hornacek has the
cardiac.
answer. Hypno Hustler, baby. With the Hypno Hustler, he has not done anything with that.
True.
All right. Well, Michael, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming on a live call.
No problem. I'm glad I made a statement.
Thank you for helping relive childhood trauma.
You cracked us all up, man. See you, buddy. Have a good one. All right. We also have Ryan Reed in the house.
Hey, Dr. Reed. How's everybody doing?
Dr. Reed in the house now.
Dr. Reed's here.
So tell us where you're from.
Well, I'm from a place out west called
Illinois.
Genoa, which is a little far from Chi-Town, and I think I was in that neck of the woods a couple weeks ago. So,
you guys could have had lunch or something.
We actually could have. We could.
Were you looking for him because he owed you money? Were you going to beat him down?
He's probably going to be. It's like, yeah, I know the Cubs lost. I know to your team.
He had a limited edition Toy Story figure, or that's.
I actually had the original Toy Story Mr. Potato Head, and
R.I.P.
And my brother was joking with it one day, and then all of a sudden it went down the stairs, and Mr. Potato Head cracked in half, and we never could put it back together. That was the original Don Wrinkles, Potato Head from the '95 movie. So I just brought Shaggy and Scoop bobbleheads here.
There you go. So Ryan, when did you discover the crawl space? You've been on it 10 plus years, maybe?
Yeah, I actually remember I was on Alvaro's message boards when I joined it, when I went to Northern back in '96, and I had found it. And I remember you being on there, Brad. I remember going to your website a couple of times. I like to read some of your news articles. I was spamming
it.
But it was good because I always would say, "Oh, no, I'm going to go to the Crawlspace because I know I'll get some good, some extra reviews." Because back then it was like some reviews, unless it was JR's little article. Sometimes I was like, nobody's really giving an honest review because I used to follow Comic Revolution, and he would give an honest review all the time for comics, everywhere from Spider-Man to Green Lantern, whatever. So I'd go over to Brad's site. And
if memory serves, the admins of the Alvaro boards banned any discussion of One More Day, I think.
Oh, yes. They did.
They did for a little while, yeah. And I actually got kicked off of there temporarily because I had hot sports opinions about One More Day.
You did.
And then
justifiably so.
And then got told I could come back, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I will.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of done here.
See, as soon as he started seeing people start getting banned for basically mentioning the just how horrible that story was and everything else, it's like you're like, yeah, maybe tread light. That's like I figured, we got to tread lightly here.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, just like, yeah, it was, but yeah, that was, yeah, and of course you can kind of see, you're surprised at the fact that Marvel didn't see the writing on the wall back then. Like, maybe this is not a good. Maybe this is not.
They banned talking about it. Yeah, they banned talking about it on the Marvel boards. They banned talking about it on the Alvaro boards. They banned talking. We had a lot of Marvel refugees come over to Crawlspace at that time.
Yeah,
I forgot about
when Marvel had their boards.
I also did reviews for Silver Bullet comics, and anybody mentioned One More Day, they're like, no, do not bring that here. You just could not talk about it.
Even CBR, I think, briefly. Yeah. Had a thing on there too, where on their forums you weren't allowed to talk about it, and I think we had people come over to Crawlspace from there as well. Like the only place you could really talk about it were like Crawlspace, and I even pointed that out because at one time we had an internal discussion with some of the other moderators, and they were like, "Well, should we have people stop talking about this?" And I was like, "If so, you are no longer unique. You become every other website there is."
That's exactly it.
Because there's only like a couple of places you can you're even allowed to talk about this topic right now, and ours is one of them. And we're getting people coming in that want to talk about it because they're sick of being shut down everywhere else.
I joined the Marvel message boards just to talk about it, just to get banned.
Yeah.
That's what led me to get off the Marvel message boards. I got banned from there too because I had some very strong opinions on the Marvel boards. I had been there since 2003. So
now I might have had strong opinions about talking about One More Day. I had even stronger opinions about these platforms saying we're not allowing any discussion of it at all.
Right.
Censorship.
And I was like, it's
in a way, you can almost argue that's
bad.
kind of a precursor of like all the stuff that's kind of somewhat happening now sometimes with Twitter, but I won't get into too much of that.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
George, what was the other frat house? We had Delta House, who were the
Zeta House,
anti-OMD people.
Zeta House was the other one.
They were Zeta House, but they acted more like Beta.
And by the way, because I don't know who was the one. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was you, George, or if it was me who basically made the joke about like, well, why don't we just about doing the Animal House reference? And that's how
the idea started at CBR with me and Mike talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then we brought it over to Crawlspace, and then we formed Delta House, and then Irish Lad, rest in peace.
He didn't die, did he?
Oh yeah, he's passed away.
Oh really?
Wow. He was the one that came up with the idea for Zeta House. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's
right.
I
remember, like when you got admitted, George would bestow upon you your name.
We had the whole naming ceremony, yeah.
And also the ID cards, which I was actually doing for a while with some of those things. Yeah, and I think because and some of them, because that was the hard, because I knew George had a sort of a sacred thing what he had to do with you, with basically trying to choose names out of like.
If you've ever seen Animal House, there's a scene where Belushi walks down a line half drunk and just spits out a nickname for somebody.
Exactly.
Now on your Delta Talcai name is Pinto.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's all I did. But I said it was a very sacred process.
I was, and while we got Ryan online, I want to publicly thank him. I just did a search on the main page. And I clicked on your name, and these are all the things he's done. Each page houses 10 items. So 10 times 23 is 230 posts you've done on the site. Wow.
Oh, wow. I have. That might even be some of my villain reviews I used to do with my little animated avatar.
Let me click on the very last page. The very first thing, ASM 700 Videocast 2013 is the very first thing.
Oh, wow.
29 comments, man. Let's click on that. Let's see what that's.
Yeah, because one thing I always said too, I never get a lot of comments on the main reviews off the main board. I do hear more on Discord now. But that was always my thing too. I always was like, I'm not a good enough reviewer. Look at Chi-Town and Alberto and everybody else, and everybody wants to comment 6 or 7 pieces, and I'm just doing videos.
Well, you get comments on Facebook, Discord. It's all over the place. It's not just one place.
I remember a couple of times I posted stuff on there, and we wound up getting like over 600 comments.
Oh, I remember. I remember that.
Like Whacker would come in all mad and start a fight.
Oh, all that.
I remember that.
Yeah, I had problems too. Do you guys know my my Dan Slott blog post that I had mentioned several years ago? I was in Chicago at C2E2.
That sounds like a Star Wars character.
I know it does. Convention. Of course, there are always pictures, but anyhow, George. But what had happened was I was in line for him to sign some of my issues I had. I had She-Hulk and I had some other stuff because I really like. And I had my thing #1 from him. Well, these 3 people came in front of me, and they like had a stack of comics like this big. I mean, it was that big, and he was only there for a little about an hour. And I was 2 people away from going to him, and they shut the line down because there was no more time. He had to go to a panel and everything. And a lot of us were just so upset because I was like one of the first 10 people in line to do that. Well, I ended up talking about my stay at the convention. I even say, hey, I met Peter David. I was so happy to meet Peter David. And what ended up happening was I commented saying about people who do those stacks to comics. 2 hours later, Dan Slott on my blog commented, hey, I sign whoever gives me. He wants to give me a book end of comics. I'm going to sign all of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
you
but that was actually the beginning of
man.
Me not being very happy with him because when
I would
he said
imagine,
that,
man.
Yeah.
Any questions for us or any funny memories from 15 years?
I had 2. One's with JR, and this goes back to when he was first doing the podcast. But he would do his Norman Osborn impersonations on the podcast. And I didn't work on Sunday, so I'd listen to you guys on Sunday mornings after I got up, had my coffee, ate breakfast. And he'd be doing I'd be laughing so hard. And I lived in a duplex that was owned by my parents. I lived up in the top, and they lived on the bottom. And every Monday they'd be like, what were you laughing so hard about? I think you fell out of your chair the other day. I'm like, oh, just JR. And she'd go and she wanted to hear what he sounded like. And she goes, he sounds like your great Uncle Malcolm when he was drunk.
Great Uncle Malcolm.
I lost it. And here's the funny thing is, Uncle Malcolm was still alive, and I was there at Thanksgiving here, and I actually brought this to him, and I actually played it, and he goes, "That does sound like me when I'm drunk."
JR, we're going to call you Uncle Malcolm from now on.
Uncle Malcolm. Oh,
put him in the middle. Uncle Malcolm in the middle.
Uncle Malcolm in the middle. Yeah, let's do it right now. There we go. Out of curiosity, how old is Uncle Milty?
He passed away about 6 years ago. He died at 98.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a little behind JR, but it's all good. Yeah.
That was the same age as my grandfather, actually.
Wow, 98. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, he was 98. He was able to do one-handed push-ups until he was 72.
I remember I remember one of the underwear commercials he did, like back in the 90s. It was for BVD, and he goes, "At my age, I do everything in my BVDs."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
My other one was I think it was, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, when Kelly was drinking and she was commenting all the time here. I was laughing so hard I had to go down to the basement because everybody in the house was asleep, and I was in the other room listening on my phone because my computer wasn't working, and I was laughing so hard. My wife comes to me, is like, "Would you get out of here? We're trying to sleep," and everything. I went down to the basement and laughed. And apparently my neighbor was out doing something. He said, "I heard a weird noise coming from your basement the other night. What was going on?" I was like, "Oh, I was just laughing at a podcast." And there he was like, "Oh, okay, you were laughing really hard that night."
Oh, wow. So who cracks you up the most? Is it JR?
He does, but the truth is, it just depends. I mean, George will send me out. You will, Brad. Hobby's done it. Pete's done it. Kelly's done it.
Yeah,
but not me.
Ashley
of
is
course.
definitely. There's very few people. There are very few people that don't make me laugh on a good night. So, but it's been great. I've been loving. I've been loving the podcast since day one. For 15 years, it was especially because there weren't many out there, and I thank you guys for letting me be part of the crew on occasion too, and things work out pretty good. So, and I'm sorry, George, I am going to be reviewing all the Spider-Man Beyond. So if you want to just start banding me now, I mean, I apologize now, but I love D&D.
Consider it done. You're done.
Well, George, I was going to make you a Galaxy D&D logo and mail it off to you here soon. I just have to get some time once the school year starts to mail it off. But I have a pattern. I was going to send it to you. That's my please don't hate me forever gift for you.
No, I couldn't hate you for more than like 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops, maybe.
That's funny. Good. All right. Anything else you want to say, Ryan? We got a couple more want to get in, man. So
but let them in, guys. Thanks so much, and happy anniversary, everybody. So have a good night, and thank you, JR, Uncle Malcolm. There you go.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Ryan.
See you later, Ryan.
See you guys. See you, Ryan.
We lost Kelly. Did we hear back from Kelly?
Yeah, I messaged her. Her internet is down, and she's rebooting her router as we speak. So Kelly will join
probably as her roommates doing that, because that's
and we are now joined by Josh Nelson. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Josh.
Hey,
Josh, where are you calling from again?
JR, Mike,
Hi.
Bobby, George. I've forgotten you.
I'm about to say, wow. You give me the high horse there? What are you doing? You just are you calling everybody out to specifically not say my name? Is that what was happening, Josh?
George, if I wanted to call you out, I just insult Stegron.
Oh wow!
Reilly.
It was good to have you on, Josh. Thanks for coming by, and I wish you all the best.
Josh just hit George like Stegron's tail. I mean, so Josh, where are you calling from again?
I am calling from Fresno, California, from my own room.
Second California caller. Awesome. None from Sweden, JR. We're trying to hit the Sweden. They might be asleep or awake. I don't know what they're doing.
Josh, can you pretend you're Swedish?
Can I pretend I'm Swedish? I do a horrible Swedish accent. So
yeah, for sure. Just pretend you're from Sweden.
I can't. No, sorry.
Yes, George, I like the ABBA very much.
So, Josh, how did you discover the Crawlspace or the podcast?
Not from drinking ABBA.
I came across the Crawlspace back in 2017, I believe.
Hey, Josh, I think the delay. I think we're getting feedback. Are you?
Yeah,
watching
this is like the old radio days. When like, hey, can you turn your radio off in the background?
Turn the YouTube or something down, but keep the StreamYard open.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we can hear it.
Is that better?
There you go. I think that sounds better. Very good.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Anyway, yeah, I discovered the Crawlspace back in 2017. I first heard through it because I was a big fan of Spidey Kicks Butt. So JR, I was a big fan of yours.
Hold on, let me put you next to the star.
Well, no, it's just okay. I remember I first came across the Spidey Kicks Butt when I was looking for like list of like the best Spider-Man stories, and I came across JR's list. And I really liked that he didn't just do. I didn't agree with everything on his list, but I like that he didn't just agree. He didn't just do the normal list, like the expected ones. They like he didn't even have the night Gwen Stacy down there. I was like, oh, okay, I like this guy. So I read more and more, and sorry about that. So I read more and more, and then and I read as many of his articles as I could, and then he stopped posting. I thought he was done, but then I found out, oh no, he went to this place called the Crawlspace. So I was like, okay, let's check out the Crawlspace. So I went.
You went here, huh? The Mad Goblin's Ward. Yeah. Oh look, the opening headline: "I'm not dead yet."
I did. I remember that.
Oh my god!
JR may have one foot in the grave, but he's a long way from having both in there, right, JR?
I was about to say all these people who keep saying have good, here's to another 15 years. I'm gonna be dead.
No, you're not.
In 15 years.
JR, you'll outlive us all. You're too stubborn, guy.
Get that off there. This is
this is look. He teamed up with me now. He's got the Crawlspace over here.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I discovered your site, and I loved it because like you guys, I was really frustrated with the Dan Slott run and everything. And whenever I went on like CBR, I just had people praising it as one of the best Spider-Man runs of all time, and I was like, have you guys ever read James D. Mateus, Roger Stern?
Yeah, probably not. They probably do.
Or David McElhinney, all the classic writers, like Tom DeFalco. It's just like, and it's, I mean, it's their opinion. I'm not going to put them down. I was looking for people who agreed with me, and I thought you guys were very critical of the current run and didn't just conform to what all these other sites were saying, because I really feel like there's I really feel like on places like CBR, there's a lot of dishonesty going around about how good the run was. So I started watching the podcast, and I was originally just watching because I wanted to hear JR's opinions, but then I heard Brad, George, Mike, Zach. He's not on the Crawlspace anymore though, right?
No, he's got his own show now.
I'm like, I thought you guys were really funny. You played well off of each other, and I got to say this. I was when I first started like regularly watching the podcast, the Amazing Spider-Man series was deep into the worldwide run, the worldwide one, which I hated. I thought that was torture to read. One of my least favorite Spider-Man runs of all time, like down there with like Howard Mackey's reboot and like the Clone Saga and Denny O'Neil, Terry Cavanagh, all that. I just hated it. I was ready to quit. And my best friend, who's a big Spider-Man fan too, he quit. But then when I came across the Crawlspace, I thought you guys as podcast reviews were so funny that I wanted to keep reading just so I could keep up with the podcast. So I guess I could thank you guys for getting me to keep reading Spider-Man, because I was about done with that. That's how I found the site and the podcast, and then I've always been a really passionate Spider-Man fan. I've always kind of wanted to write about it. And then Brad put out an ad on the site about needing a new writer, and I had the idea for Overlooked Gems, because I wanted to talk about like underrated Spider-Man stories, because I thought there were a lot. And Brad gave me the pitch, and I've written a lot of articles since then. I haven't written any in a while because I'm working 2 jobs. I'm in school now and everything, so I don't have as much time. It was really a great honor to be able to write for the Crawlspace after becoming such a big fan of you guys.
If you look on the Crawlspace over on the right-hand side, you can see Overlooked Gems right here. That's what he's referencing. There you go. So
yeah, I've Yeah.
Oh my God! You wrote about one moment in time.
Oh, all right. Get him out. Get him off there.
Well, Josh, we're glad you could stop by.
It was an April Fool's joke. Hey, maybe he liked the covers like Brad.
The cover's the only good thing about that
we've
story.
lost Mike. No, I'm just kidding. Mr. Comics has sent 2 emails. I have not gotten a response. Crawlspacemail@gmail.com. I've got my email right here. And I can look in my spam. Let me see if you're in my spam real quick.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to connect on match.com. I'm married. No, I didn't win a prize. You're not in my email, sir. So if you can try one more time, I will get you on, Mr. Comics. Crawlspacemail@gmail.com. So, Josh, any questions for the panelists? Feel free.
Okay. Well, there's a lot I could say. There's a lot I could ask. I'm not sure where to start.
Well, go to your favorite. Go to JR first.
All right, JR.
Yes, I'll put you guys.
Something I did want to ask you because on a recent podcast, you said that you were not the biggest fan of the night Gwen Stacy died storyline, and that's my favorite comic of all time. And I'm just curious to know what are your reasons for not liking that story as much.
Oh, well, I was funny because Javi, I think, left a comment that the June 73, we're almost close to the 50th anniversary. So maybe I just ought to do it in June.
Hey,
well, wait a minute. I'll be 60 that year. I'll be too old to be on the show then. Why? Well, because it's fake. Because when you read it, it seems like it's not, it should have been longer. It's like it's very rushed. It's not quite as, when you hear it's so momentous, and then the story itself almost like it moves too fast and doesn't breathe. It's been a while since I've read it, but it was kind of more with the story structure. It wasn't so much that I had a problem with the events or anything, but and I think if you read Jerry Conway, has commented that the story got shorted as well, either from as a result of some art pages Gil Kane turned in or whatever. But it's one of those that when you think about all the stories and how long, when I'll just throw out Assassination Plot, that gets 6 issues. Death of Gwen Stacy and the Green Goblin gets 2. So I think it was. I think that had something to do with it. But I don't know. In June 2023, folks, if I'm still on, we'll cover it.
Well, I got news. JR won't. Just kidding. That'd be funny. What else would you like, Josh? Any other questions?
Yeah. Brad.
Yes, sir.
What? How should I say this? Since I write the Overlooked Gems column, I'll ask you, Brad. And thank you for approving that, by the way. I've loved writing articles for you. What do you personally think is the most underrated Spider-Man story of all time?
Let's just pop your articles up.
Brad wasn't ready for people to throw questions at him.
No, I can make stuff up.
No, wait a minute. Isn't that my bag?
That is your bag.
You're encroaching on JR's territory.
Well, that the Octopus Owl War often comes up. And Marvel hasn't even reprinted that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the best Spider-Man stories of all time.
I think it's because Black Cat gets shot in the boob. And they don't want to reprint it because of that. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
It's funny you say that, Brad, because that story's in my top 10 Spider-Man stories of all time. I love that story. Yeah. But I've seen that appear on a lot of best of Spider-Man lists. So the reason I didn't write an article about that is because I wasn't sure if it was really that underrated, because I've heard a lot of people talk about it. So
yeah. This panel specifically talks a lot about it. Marvel just doesn't react, and JR will disagree with me. I thought Sal Buscema and J.M. DeMatteis's run was very, very solid.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. As far as amazing, I don't think Marv Wolfman gets enough credit. ASM 200, I love. When he started, he had the proposal of Mary Jane right off one of the first times.
Yeah, that was gutsy.
That's solid. Speaking of, Marv Wolfman has agreed to be on the show. He's coming
really?
in about 6 months. Oh, so awesome. I've been in contact with Marv Wolfman. We're going to talk about The Burglar. We're going to talk about the proposal, etc. So that'll be a fun interview.
I'm glad you.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you mentioned Marv Wolfman, Brad, because one of my favorite stories from his run, aside from the Burglar arc, was 24 Hours Till Doomsday, where Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson are
when they're handcuffed.
Chained to their handcuffed with the bomb. And I wrote an Overlooked Gems piece on that because I feel like no one ever talks about that one really.
Yeah.
I think that was probably one of the things. I think that the only time I think that ever got adapted was probably on the Spider-Man cartoon, right?
Yeah.
That was actually where they actually did an adapted version of that thing. It was like
Wolfman got a credit for it. I just watched it like last week.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments or questions? I'm going to log in here and see if something is going wrong with my other account.
I do. I'll try to keep my questions to a minimum because I want to try to get to all of you. But George, I'll ask you next.
Oh God.
All right. Well, when you put it like that, I guess I'll ask you a fun question.
Hit him with the hard stuff. I like it.
All right, George. So,
what?
We know your three biggest pet peeves with Spider-Man and Spider-Man lore are clones, symbiotes, and the Ultimate Universe, correct?
And Morlun.
And Morlun, okay.
Morlun,
okay.
all the Morlun and Totem crap, yeah.
Okay, so which out of all those do you find the absolute least bearable? Like which one is the absolute worst out of all of those?
It would be a hard call between clones and Ultimate.
Clones and Ultimate, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, George, here's my other question for you then. All right. How would you feel if Marvel brought the Ultimate Universe back and they introduced their version of Morlun, and it was a cloned version of Morlun who found a symbiote?
It wouldn't affect me because if it would be Ultimate Marvel, I wouldn't give a crap. There's no way I'm wasting money on it. The only Ultimate Marvel comic I bought was the first one, the first one that Bendis wrote and Bagley drew. I bought that one to review, I think, for the site and the site that JR and I used to be a part of way back in the day. And then I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. No more. I never bought another Ultimate thing then. I read some that other people had, and I'd go visit them or whatever, and they'd have some, and I'm like, yeah, this is straight garbage.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I felt justified years later that I never got into all that. And then by the time, Ultimatum came around, people were pretty much like everybody had gone, from that to yeah, this is garbage. This is a dumpster fire. And then they killed Peter off and got Miles Morales and look at this. This is fresh and exciting. And I'm like, it's another carbon copy character. This time they're just doing it in a different universe.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny to say that, George, because I actually was a pretty big fan of the Ultimate Universe. But the thing is I lost all interest just when they brought Miles Morales in because I just don't care about Miles Morales.
Yeah, I'm glad you got better.
All right, then, and George, if Marvel did a Stegron versus Morlun comic, would you read it?
No. I mean, here's the thing. I haven't read every comic that Stegron's in. Like I said earlier, Stegron was in a few issues of that god awful mutant
Spider-Man
teacher
the
thing.
X-Men.
Oh right.
Yeah, and that was trash. That was straight trash. I read one issue of it because Brad said, "Yeah, it's Stegron's in it. You got to read it." And I'm like, "All right, fine, whatever." And I read it, and I was like, "This literally should." Belongs on the ash heap of history. This thing is awful.
Oh,
there's nothing redeemable to say about this. Brad's like, what? I love this. And I'm like, I know you do. Because you will literally buy any goddamn thing.
I know.
So,
George, you and JR always have the best answers, I swear. You two always have the funniest answers.
Thank you very much.
What about me? No, I'm just kidding.
You're okay, Brad.
Thanks.
No, you're funny too, Brad. I want to ask Chi-Town. Because I know you're a big Mary Jane fan. I am too.
I am.
So I want to ask you, what do you think is the best Peter Mary Jane story of all time? I think it's To Have and to Hold.
That one's a good one. But there's two ones that go into my list. There's one by Peter David that Brad just did an interview with 5 more minutes, Ultimate Spider-Man. And then, of course, there's Parallel Lies by Jerry Conway.
And Alex Sadek.
Those are good ones.
Yeah.
Those are really good ones. So I'm curious, Chi-Town, what do you think? What's your response when someone tries to tell you that that Gwen Stacy is a better character than Mary Jane Watson?
Well, most of those fans are, Emma Stone fans, and they're going with the popularity. They don't understand. You have to re-educate, and personally, I don't have the time to educate them like that. They'll say, "Oh, Kirsten Dunst and whatnot," but no.
Yeah.
Casuals. Yeah, you just have to go with the flow and wait for the next movie to come out for a beautiful redhead, and then Mary Jane's popular status will go back up.
That's a good answer.
It's just the way it is. For a diehard Spider-Man fan, we should all know that answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody has a different opinion, even though it's wrong.
Yeah.
So you just have to go with the flow.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. And I feel like a lot of people who say Gwen's better are like the only Gwen comic they read is Spider-Man Blue.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yes.
I think that's a great story, but I mean, it's funny because Gwen in that story is not very similar to Gwen from like the Silver.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the Gwen from that story. I mean, even the Ultimate Gwen. Sorry, George, not sorry. And the canon 616 Gwen Stacy. They're all completely different, and that's probably why. And that's why Jerry killed her off. I mean, she was really boring. They tried. I think Stan did an interview with Kevin Smith and said no, they tried to make Gwen as interesting as possible, and they just couldn't do it. That's why they went with Mary Jane.
No, I agree. I mean, what did you say, George? Gwen was a bipolar psycho back in the day.
That's accurate.
Yeah,
that's exactly what she was. Yeah,
direct quote.
I used to have. It's funny. My friend and when you're first, I have my best friend who's also big into Spider-Man. We're both huge comic fans. When he was first getting the Spider-Man series, he used to say Gwen was better than Mary Jane because, and that's mostly because he and I are both huge fans of the night Gwen Stacy died comic. That's both our favorite comic of all time, and that hit us so hard because we've been reading from the beginning. And but it's like when you put aside the emotional punch of her death and like go back and think about it, it's like I don't think Gwen really compares as a character to Mary Jane.
Gwen was very two-dimensional, and Mary Jane had a lot more depth.
Yeah, without a doubt,
was a lot more faceted than Gwen was. Gwen had two speeds: crazy and asleep. So,
crazy and asleep is that what you said?
Yeah.
Let's put this in perspective too. That Gwen never liked Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
And if she ever found out that Peter was Spider-Man, she would forbid it. Right? Mary Jane found out right away. I still consider that canon.
Yeah.
And just, she accepted it over time. She never wanted to forbid it. Gwen would forbid it.
See, I'm kind of of the opinion that if you read the early Steve Ditko, when he was still illustrating stuff, you notice that Gwen Stacy in that is very similar to Liz Allen. Actually, in a lot of ways, in terms of how they did the dynamics and stuff. It's only when John Romita Sr. gets on board that they kind of literally softens her up and everything and stuff like that. Try to make her a little bit more of the kind of like the classic old damsel kind of thing. I think a little bit, and I think but it's always kind of interests me. I think one of the more interesting questions is if because even though Mary Jane was introduced first in a Steve Ditko issue, he never illustrated her, and it always kind of fascinated me, like what would she have looked like if he had versus if John Romita Sr. hadn't drawn her first.
Well, we found that out.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh, you did. Yeah. And it was kind of like what the whole Pico, Pete Carrot things were saying stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. But
good insight as always, Mike. Like, in fact, I always like when I watch some of the podcast, I'm like, JR and George are like the comedy relief, and like Mike is like the I look at Mike as like the very analytical guy.
Yeah, I've been compared to a college professor a lot of times.
No, but
somebody actually was one point,
I love the way you analyze comics. I've always liked that.
He does do a very good job of that. I would agree.
So we're clowns, that we amuse you.
You do, JR.
Yes.
How are we funny? How are we so funny?
Don't put a pumpkin bomb up, all right?
Well, JR.
You've seen Goodfellas, right?
Well, JR, because most people won't try to do the Spider-Man exercise that you once tried to do on
yeah. JR, the internet's forever, brother.
Yeah.
We literally
Fell flat on your face
thought
and I
he
was
was going to die on camera.
Spider-Man, Uncle Malcolm push-up.
Josh, I appreciate you calling in. We got a couple more that want to come in. So, Josh, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for listening all these years.
Thanks,
Josh.
Josh.
My pleasure. It was great finding getting to see all you guys in person.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh yeah, great seeing you too, Josh.
All right, man. Well, have a good night.
Yep, have a good night, dude.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
welcome back, Kelly.
Thank you.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Internet trouble.
Roommates
I've
again.
sent at least 3 emails for people that want to be in. Mr. Comics just gave me his email in chat, so I just sent you one, Mr. Comics. So hopefully you have the link in there. We have Chris. What's going on, Chris? How are you, buddy?
Hey,
hi, Chris.
Hey,
Chris, where are you calling from?
NYC, New York.
New York. There you go.
New York, where Spidey whiz.
Oh yeah.
Tell us how you discovered the Crawlspace, the podcast or the website, or
discovered you guys on YouTube. Well, like I said, like a couple of years now. I was on like last time you had me singing the theme song for Spider-Man 66.
Yeah.
I remember. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that was one of my best moments. But in all seriousness, you know, with Nick Spencer leaving, I never really gave him a chance. I was so used to Dan Slott because he was on the title for so long. But now I'm starting to read Spencer's work, but now he's going. So I'm like, okay, well, what's this new team going to be like? I mean, I want to get your guys' opinion. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know they did other work here and there, but what is your opinion? And how do you think they're going to really make Spider-Man great again?
Well, okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with like the history of writing in Spider-Man, but the other 2 times they have tried to do this writing by committee, it has been an unmitigated disaster, a complete and total shit show. The first time they did it was with the Clone Saga. The second time that they did it was with Brand New Verse after One More Day. And this will be the 3rd iteration. No good comes from Spider-Man being written by committee. None at all.
Right.
Never.
Never. Because here's the thing. I got the Clone Saga. And reading that book, even trying to read that book, you know, this was, I got all the books from the 90s. You know, Clone Saga, Night Quest for Batman, we got hurt by Bane, and of course the famous of them all, Superman, the death of Superman by Doomsday. And while those books made something, put a staple, out of the 3, I would say the Clone Saga is really, really out there. Because here's the thing: as much as I'm being a collector, I just got the books just to have the books. But the quickest way I can read it was going through Wikipedia, and I'm like, I'm still confused.
Well,
I'm like,
I think there's a reason for that, Chris.
Is this guy coming back? Huh?
I'm just saying that I think there's a reason for that, because I think with the death of Superman and Nightfall, they at least knew even though it was written by committee, at least they knew where it was going to end. With Clone Saga, it's just like, let's just keep going. Everything.
I heard that. I'm like, okay, I got like how many books of it? I got the original Clone Saga, the Ben Reilly epic, and then the Clone Saga. And I'm like, okay, that's like 12 books. Let's see. I'm still on the original Clone Saga, and then don't forget the real Clone Saga story. But then when they did that over, I'm like, let's see, that's 12 books altogether. And there's really no time for me to read 12 books altogether. So again, I go to Wikipedia. I'm like, okay, let me just get the brush up like my Cliff Notes, and let me just take it like that. Because
Cliff Notes are confusing, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm like this. At least the Cliff Notes will give me a quick overlook of the story. You know, like it's kind of like the Avengers movies. It's like, okay, this in here, and no, not even the Avengers movie. I would say they're kind of like the Harry Potter, the Hunger Games, and the Twilight movies. I'm like, it's all wrapped up. And I'm like, okay, how does this end? Who's this guy? And where did this guy come from? Who's this guy? How come it ends like this? I'm like, okay, this is way too much. And years later, people still talking about how bad the Clone Saga is. Now they're bringing back Mr. Ben Reilly.
Do it for a third, fourth, fifth time. Yeah.
And the thing is, he was good. He was like that. I would say since in the Spider-Verse thing, that's the only time I would say bring him back. That's it. But after that, in the Clone Conspiracy, I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Why is he even here? And why they pull him as a bad guy? I'm like, no, that don't make sense to me. So I'm like, now they're doing it again. Why are they bringing him back? And I just.
So, Chris, share us a funny memory that you have of listening to the show, or anything that you remember the panelists did, or anything funny memories that come to mind.
Oh gosh. Well, the thing is, I haven't been listening to you guys that long. I know that Venkman's up there like every half hour making and I'm like, God, this guy. And then I finally saw him. I'm like, God, this is what this guy looks like. Okay.
Venkman is a very handsome man.
I'm only playing with him. I'm only kidding. But I was like, okay. Because his last name is Venkman, I'm thinking like he looks like Venkman from the Ghostbusters. Peter Venkman.
He does actually. Hence the name.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a nice name.
How do you listen to the show? Do you listen to it you're in your car, or surfing the web, or what do you do, Chris?
Oh no, I listen to you guys at home on a Saturday night. Being the sappy nerd that I am. Listen, like, okay, when these guys are on, I'm gonna listen to them. There's another Spider-Man show. I think it's called Amazing Spider-Man Talk. They come on. They don't come on as much as you guys do, but you guys are much more animated because you guys critique the books and you guys just tell it as it is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys just you rip into these writers, man. You're ripping. And I'm going to say one thing. I think one of you guys said earlier about what's his name, Bagley. Bagley to me is one of my favorite Spider-Man artists. Yeah, he really is. And the way that he really picked up Spider-Man after McFarlane left was something that I was like, wow, okay, this guy here, he's good on his own. Eric Larson, I was like, okay, he's all right. But when Bagley came in, I was like, wow, this guy is nice. He's really, really good. I will say,
he's a nice guy in person too. I met him at a convention. Very nice dude. He's a grandfather. You believe that? I think he's in his 60s.
Yeah, everyone here. I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I mean, going off of what people have said before about Bagley on this podcast, I don't think there's anyone on the podcast that actually doesn't like Bagley as an artist. I think everyone appreciate Bagley as an artist.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, when we mentioned it earlier, all we were talking about was like it looked a little off in some places than what we're normally used to. And we wondered like if that was because of the schedule or was it because of the inking, that kind of thing. That was really it.
I probably because of the schedule. I kind of think because Spider-Man's not going to be 3 times a month now.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I'm like,
$4 times 3, $12 to read Spider-Man.
I mean, to me that sounds like a miniature graphic novel. I mean, just put in a TPB and that's it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I gotta spend $12. I'm like, wait a minute, let me just wait for a video review, see what's going on, wait for you guys or anything else subscribe to on YouTube and see how it really goes. I do like Mark Bagley, and the only person I like, I would say, that Mark Bagley, the late great Gil Kane, Ross Andrew. I kind of grew up in that old school era. Of course, McFarlane, but I would say like as far as like the artists that I really like in this millennium, in this day and age, is really what's his name? Oh my gosh, I forgot his name now. He used to join Venom. Now he's over.
Ryan Stegman.
Ryan Stegman is fantastic.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I love the way that he draws Spider-Man, and even when he draw Spider-Man and it's Superior Spider-Man in that storyline, it was like, oh my god, this kid is nice. And I saw a picture of him, I'm like, gosh, he looked like I don't know, was he in a commercial? Because it was like a commercial that kind of looked like he was playing with some kid on a little motorcycle, and she kind of backed up into some kind of garbage can, and mother like put the hand there, and she just looked at him like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I don't know. I don't understand." I'm like,
that's funny.
But yeah, I just like the way that he draws. I mean, it's just amazing. I'm like, wow, if they didn't bring back Bagley, I would say Stegman for Spider-Man.
Yep.
You know what would be cool if your revolving art team was Ryan Stegman and Ryan Otley.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And
switch out Ryans every month. Yeah.
Right.
That'd be a pretty good system.
Yeah, and I'm disappointed that Otley's off the book. I'm like, gosh, I mean, I like this guy and all.
I did
but
too.
I mean, my Otley was nice when he drew Spider-Man. I'm like, why is he off the book? That's kind of
he's going to Hulk. I think he'll do okay on Hulk.
Oh, is Otley doing Hulk?
Yeah, Otley's
okay.
Chris, real quick, any questions for a panelist or all of us, or because we got a couple more wanting to come in?
Oh no. Let's see. Like I said, I think I just asked you guys a question about the new committee. I'm trying to like this, fingers crossed. I hope they know what they was doing.
Same.
If that's not the case, I would say somebody bring back Stan Lee back to life, because he was the only guy that really know how to tell the story. If not him, then Jerry Conway.
Right.
We gotta see. We gotta see, man. We gotta see.
Yep.
That's the most I can say.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for listening all these years, and thanks for joining us on the live show, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for coming on, Chris.
Have a good rest of the weekend.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Have a good one. Oh, I cut him off midstream. Hold on. Here, I'm giving you. Sorry, Chris. You're mid-sentence. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, and no. I was going to say good night. I'll see you guys hopefully in 2 weeks or whatever, and whenever you come back on.
Okay.
Let's go to the Discord, man. You'll see us every day.
Yeah, go to the Discord. That's
go
what
to the Discord.
Link on the front page of the Crawlspace.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
All right. We have 3 in the waiting room. It sounds like we're in the doctor's office. We have 3 in the waiting room waiting to get surgery. Our first patient is Mr. Comics 89. What's going on, sir? How are you?
I was beginning to wonder what it takes to get on here. I was beginning to think my wife made a deal with Mephisto to keep me off here or something.
You don't need to do that.
You had to deal with Google because Gmail was blocking your emails, so I don't know what was up with it. So where are you calling from, buddy?
Monte Vista, Colorado.
Colorado. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. How long you been listening and visiting the site?
Actually, I found you guys fairly recently. I think in March or February. The very first podcast I listened to was it was a 3-hour-long Spider News, and like every half hour, you kept on saying, if anyone's coming in right this very second, they're going to get confused as hell or something like that,
Okay, in fairness, that could be any episode.
Yeah. I've
Going back 15 years, yes.
I've since learned. I listened to all the podcasts that were on Apple Podcasts that I could, and I'm beginning to think I need to go to your site to try and listen to older stuff. When I find something I care about, I dive 120%.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I think the cutoff on Apple Podcasts is like 100 episodes.
Yeah.
But if you go to the main site and you click on here, I can just do it live. Let's see here. And my own website's not pulling up. There it goes. Okay. If you go to the main site and you click, because people have asked this a while, you go to podcast and archives right here. It will open up. This is the company that houses all my podcasts, Podbean.
Oh,
and here's the first one. You can go back to August 2006, and you can see episode 1.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We recorded that August 19th, 2006, and there they all are over here. Awesome. So my numbering's funky. 704 episodes technically, but Peter David was 700 yesterday. So that's how you find all the archives. If like Apple Podcast doesn't do all of them.
Yeah, my favorites are like the Friday Night Fights and the reviews and all that. And I can't think of that one right now. I'm drawing a blank. I'm on the spotlight.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you listen to the show?
On my phone, I listen to a podcast while I'm working. You know, I sneak in podcasts from multiple different people. You know, like Amazing Spider Talk is the first one I listened to for a while. I listened to it right at the beginning of COVID last year when I found and going like, I need my fix. I need more Spider-Man. I started looking for Spider-Man podcasts and I found the Crawlspace. And so I'm like,
awesome.
I love the interaction. You know, a couple of times I've just had to stop working for a second there because I was laughing so hard I was crying.
We're your favorite then.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
Who cracked you up? What was a funny memory? What cracked you up? Or what has cracked you up?
The boob socks, right? It's always the boob socks.
Boob socks.
Listen to George here and trash, smack talk you around and just like
me. He never does that.
So what we're hearing, Brad, is that the audience likes it when I talk about you and put you in your place. So clearly, what we need more of is me correcting you, me reminding you, that you're, like you're not all that funny a lot of the time, that kind of thing.
And it's more,
I would boot you out, but I've used the joke at least twice tonight. I'm not going to go 3 times. I'll get belittled. It's fine.
But yeah, and there's in the innuendos like the spider sense in the bathroom and someone in the hotel room like maybe I should have said it like that. But it's just funny as hell. I'm chasing
the Paris bathroom topic. They love that one, Kelly. That was funny.
Look, we all need to go.
These things happen.
These things happen.
Yeah.
These things happen.
These things happen. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what Mr. Comic's favorite comic is behind him, because that's quite a collection you've got on the wall.
Man. Let me see you. Yeah, what's behind? Oh, you got CGC stuff going.
Yep, I got my whole ASM down here.
Wow.
Okay.
I see a number 2 and a number 1 and number 4, 5, and 14.
A 300 back there.
You got I think that's first appearance of the Punisher.
It is.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy dying. Turning point.
Yep. I got first Gwen Stacy, Craven for Scorpion.
252's up there.
252. I got a double cover of 185. First the Secret Wars number 8, the only one I really have because I just went to the iconic cover there.
Yeah.
And
you need Secret Wars number 3.
Right.
If you're a Spider-Man fan, you absolutely Secret Wars 3 is a must, and you have to. Have you ever read that before?
No, I haven't.
That's the one where Spider-Man drops down and kicks the hell out of the X-Men.
I've heard you mention it a few times ago. I'm like, I should read that.
That's one of the best Spider-Man fights ever. Spider-Man dropping down out of nowhere and just kicking the shit out of the X-Men for like a page and a half, and then he's done and he's out.
Right.
Yeah.
And the X-Men are like, WTF just happened.
You did a fight club on it, didn't you, George?
We did. It's one of the early. I did it as an article on the main page, and then we did it as a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm chasing a complete ASM collection. I'm down to like less than 74 books.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And I've been collecting for only just under 3 years.
Wow.
That works.
Like I said, 120%.
Wow. You weren't lying. You're a go-getter. Oh my
God.
God.
Are there any particular runs that you have of a creator's run on Amazing that you have completed already, or is there certain gaps in every single one? Or
well, I basically have the biggest gaps are in less than 100 because, like I said, I have
those are expensive ones. Yeah,
I have ASM 1 through 10. I had to get those issues before they went up too far and
all that.
But yeah, I'd say a few issues like ASM 13 and a few other ones that are the more expensive ones still. But otherwise, yeah, I have 70 some whatever. But I'm getting there.
Yeah, that's impressive so far.
That's impressive for 3 years. Jesus, wow.
I'm like a crack addict who needs his fix.
Yeah. Dude, we all need our Spider-Man, don't we?
Wow.
We all need it. So, questions for the panel. Anything you'd like to ask from us that you'd like?
Name it.
All right. Any questions I have?
What would you like to know from us? Feel free.
Well, the only question I kept on thinking of watching this is kind of for JR. What do you want? What do you want for Norman? What do you want for Norman in the future here? Do you want him to continue to be good, or do you want him to go back to how he was?
Good.
I like the idea of keeping Norman as the sane one and having a Kindred or Harry as the crazy one in here. I like that aspect, you know.
Well, Norman has always been good. He's just been misunderstood.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, Peter Parker is such a self-righteous schmuck that, Norman has to remind him that the world is a cold and cruel place. So, but Norman has always been good. He's just been actually, to be absolutely honest, I want him to be back cackling madly and threatening to kill everybody and plotting evil and stuff like that. That's what I want.
It's definitely been very interesting because I was like, when they had the podcast issue, when I'm like going, finally, I like J. Jonah Jameson in that slightly confrontation with Spider-Man. I didn't like him being friends. It's going, this is weird, It's like,
no doubt.
I like that whole I want Spider-Man. I hate Spider-Man. So it's the whole aspect of a good J. Jonah Jameson was like, this is like a family reunion where no one argues.
Right. Yeah.
Any other questions for the panel? That you want to know?
Nothing really. I mean, I guess I guess more for I have some issues of Mayday for Spider-Girl and all that. I'm seeing a few issues, but I have a few. What issues would you was your favorites and all that? Because my brother has a complete volume 1 of Mayday. He loves Spider-Girl, and I have a few episodes here. Few issues.
I do the same. I do the same. I did the same. Well, because most of the issues are kind of one shots, so it almost works as a episode. Honestly, like it kind of even reads like it would be, although it's way better than anything WB and CW could come up with, but it reads like that. So I get that. Honestly, I think my favorite like top 2, or honestly top 3, it like to really get to know like Spider-Girl and exactly why it's so just awesome is let's see, I would say Season of the Serpent, then Marked for Death, and then what people like to call the Back in Black, but it's the one.
Black suit.
Well, not quite.
No,
that wasn't Back in Black, because this is when she had to get back in it. So this is towards the end of that. I would say it's issues from like 91 to 100. But basically, it's where Elan, the Goblin Queen, threw the Venom symbionite on Normie, and May had to go find him to save him from doing something bad as Venom. I would say those 3 storylines are really important in there, and I also think like if I had to tell anybody like, okay, you need a fast track on why Spider-Girl is awesome, it would be those 3 stories towards the end, basically. So like 91 through 100, and Season of the Serpent, and Marked for Death.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for having me on.
No problem, man. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
If you have a job opening, definitely hit me up. I want to be on.
we pay well.
I laugh harder listening to you guys' podcast than I have in a long time. It's just.
Oh, thanks, man.
Well,
we have fun.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, man. All right, man. You have a good night.
You too.
That's nice.
All right, we've got a question in chat, and we've got 2 more people waiting to join us, and those will be our last 2.
Okay.
Peter Ford in chat says, I'm starting with Spider-Man. Where to begin?
Just go with the start from the
I have an
beginning.
answer for him. I would recommend Marvel Unlimited. I think it's 70.
Actually,
$70.
yeah.
That's a good pick. Yeah.
If you're trying to get caught up on Spider-Man history, that would be the best place to do it.
It's $10 a month.
It's the most economical way to do it.
It is.
Yeah.
And I would here's the prices right here. You can do $10 a month or $70 a year, which is what I would recommend. Kelly does the exclusive kit. Don't you get like a legend or something with it?
I do, and it always goes to the nephew. But this I think this year's, although they're switching it up, this is what they gave out this year. So
that's fun.
Gabe wasn't too into it, but he did like Kamala in her Spider-Man outfit.
and you can try it for 7 days right here. So just Google Marvel Unlimited, and that is the best. If I recommend an iPad, that's the way I think it works best personally.
And let me put in this little bit I don't know, of advertising for it, even though they don't pay for us. You know, they don't pay us to hype them or anything. But as someone who is as big as a Marvel critic as I have been over the last 20 years, it is actually
it's a good value.
A really good value for what you get out of it.
All right.
It's my favorite.
I would
Honestly,
recommend
it's
it.
one of my favorite. Yeah, it's one of my favorite apps.
Ideal.
Yeah.
All right. If you had asked that years ago, I would have said the Spider-Man Essentials, because even though they're in black and white, I mean,
they were only $15 at the time they came out.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but they pulled the plug on those. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
also the Roger Stern omnibus. If money's no object, go get the Roger Stern omnibus.
All right, we're going to add one more. We got two more in the waiting room. We're going to add Hornacek. What's going on, sir?
Hey. Oh my God!
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, look at you read JR's book.
Sorry,
Here, let me full screen you, Hornacek. Pull that book up.
Crawlspace Ombudsman. Hornacek. Is it Hornacek or Hornacek? I've always said Hornacek.
My friends nicknamed me that back in the 90s. I am no basketball fan, but they always said, "Oh my God, you look just like Jeff Hornacek," and I had no idea who he was.
And then it stuck, right?
And it just stuck. So,
well, I think all of us have mispronounced your name from time to time, especially me. Like always called it Horny Neck was one of my big blunders.
I'm going to call you Horny Neck from now on, Mike.
Let's not.
It's out of principle. Hey, Horny Neck's in the house.
Oh, God, your mother's watching.
I hope mom's in bed by now.
Hornacek, how long have you been with the site and the podcast? How long have you been with us, man?
A long time.
It has been a long time. Unlike many people, I found the website through JR's website.
Yep.
I was just searching for online stuff about Spider-Man, found JR's site, and it directed me to the Crawlspace. I actually remember, I think the first article or the first podcast I listened to, and I searched this up while I was waiting, was the episode where George reviewed the two XXX Spider-Man, which was
I'm glad. Yeah, I really hope my mom's asleep by now.
Yeah. Those are the lost episodes. They're not getting put back up there. Yeah, we still need to be gainfully employed after this show. But yeah, that was those were funny. Yeah, my favorite line when George put the DVD in his DVD player, and the DVD
and my TV was like, "Nope, not doing it, dog. I'm out."
And George
traded one of clothes.
To the girl who worked at the video store, who was looking at him as he was renting these. It's like, I'm covering these for a podcast, and she's like, "Sure
you are."
That place, I drove past it 2 years ago because I was going up towards Oklahoma, and this place was up towards Oklahoma. It was up there by where I went to college in Denton, and it's gone. It's not there, not even there anymore. Yeah,
most video storage places are,
So what year was that? That was 10 years ago, probably.
That was 2012.
2012. There you
go. Wow.
Crazy. All right, what do you got? By the way, thanks for transcribing our stuff, our funny quotes over the years. I always thought that was fun.
It was fun. It was, and I remember one of the older episodes when I started listening. That was like 127 or whatever episode it was.
Right.
And I'm kind of a completionist, so once I started listening to this, I'm like, oh, there's all these old episodes. Let's go back and listen to them. So as I was listening to them, Brad, you mentioned on one of the episodes that on the message board there's a thread for funny Crawlspace moments, and people don't post here. I thought that people would, so I just thought, oh, why the hell not? Since I'm listening to all these old episodes anyway, and it just
what's the quote that comes to mind that's one of the funniest ones you remember transcribing?
There's been so many like small ones, but I always go back to the message board episode where the panel people had dropped off from so it was just Brad, Kevin, the late Kevin Cushing, as JR would call him, and JR, and Pirate Beck called in, and it was a live caller episode, and Pirate Beck called in and asked if Kevin had ever heard of this what if issue, and Brad said, well, JR is the guy who is a spider historian. He says, no, actually, I want to talk to Kevin about this because it's what if Spider-Man kept his 6 extra arms, and it's because Morbius gets eaten by sharks.
Yep.
I remember that.
And I remember this, and Brad is Googling the images, and I remember Brad says, oh, Kevin, I found it. Oh, he goes out like a bitch.
And he did, didn't he?
And he did. And you're reading all the dialogue. Arrgh. And it was poor Kevin. Kevin was like, oh, my God. Oh.
You know, on the side of those sharks, it said Sony.
Yeah. Hornacek, I personally want to thank you for all the work that you've did on the funniest quotes thing.
Yeah, man.
Because you know, every now and then I go back through that thread and I look at things and I pull up the episode so I can genuinely hear how funny I actually am.
Oh, God.
And so thank you for chronicling that. You know, for others who want to. It's a gift, really. It's God's work that you've done, Hornacek. Thank you very much.
Not to mention the most embarrassing moment I've ever had on this podcast.
What was it?
What I basically believed Georgia was when he said about the
StegronFans.net. Yeah, StegronFans.net.
I thought that was an actual thing.
Yeah.
Because not many people visit our message board anymore. They've mainly gone over the Discord. If you'd like and you still want to, feel free on the Discord to still quote. We all loved it. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of dropped off a bit during once the pandemic happened, which you think with all the extra time I would have more time to listen to the old episodes and quote, but just things happened. Things just happened. It took up time, and the Discord has kind of taken over from the message board, so it's not very often. But yeah, I'd be more than willing. If,
are you a member on our Discord?
Yeah, I'm.
Okay.
Oh,
If you would spend time more there, Brad, you would know who's on there and not.
My bad.
Actually, I've been kind of posting there this week about how my comments are kind of posting on the front page.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That was my thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Hornacek, my spam filter hates you.
I don't know what it is. I've been posting on the front page for years.
I know. And you know what I've been doing daily when I go behind the scenes? I now go to the trash bin and see if you're there, and I approve them. Yeah. Which hopefully one of these updates I can whitelist you and you can be approved or whatever. So I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. George was just talking about how he likes to look back in those old threads to see how funny he is. Just this past week, I can't remember what the conversation was, but I quoted a message board episode from years ago where Brad had asked, "Who's your favorite Spider-Man villain?" And George said, "Tony Stark." I was like, "No, I said villain." And Brad's like, "Tony Stark." And I remember that as clear as day.
I remember saying it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was funny. That's true.
George saying that the worst Spider-Man villain to live next to would be the radioactive man.
I remember that because there was no pause. I immediately knew it. I just radioactive man. Yeah. I remember that one.
Any other funny memories or?
I do remember and so far this has been going a lot better than the first time I called into the show, because after I called in, which was very pleasant, and then afterwards, JR said, "Wow, he sounded old."
Must have been your internet connection.
Okay, all right. Speaking of all, I want to point this out, and I noticed this earlier. And since JR slighted you, I'm going to slight him back for you. All right. All right. You ever see pictures of L. Ron Hubbard when he was almost dead and had gone to seed, or LBJ after he was president, retired to the ranch in Texas and just stopped giving a damn?
Oh,
that's what JR's hair's doing right now.
I was going to say something.
It does look a little bit long. Let me pull it up here.
It's like you
just noticed, Brad.
It's like you retired and stopped giving a damn.
And JR was bald,
like you just don't care.
Wasn't it back at Christmas?
Yeah.
JR grew that head of hair, and
I know, right? It's been like performance art.
Me and you, and
Brad.
Yeah.
I was like,
I haven't had a haircut since then. I shaved my head, and I haven't cut it since then.
In chat, Ashley goes, "Oh snap! OMG to what?
Oh, that's Ashley. That's one of the people we played D&D with.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hornacek, questions for the panelists. What would you like to ask us?
Some of the questions I had have already been asked. I guess Brad, the Peter David interview was last night.
It was last night.
Was great. It was. I thought
Thanks,
it would
man.
only go like an hour. I was just amazed how long it went, and how eager he was to like spill the tea and talk about behind the scenes stuff. Like, why did he kill off Ned Leeds to piss off Tom DeFalco? And I was like,
I think he might have forgot we were live. He was just it was fun.
It was a good interview yesterday.
Yeah.
You can tell Peter David had fun.
Yeah.
Did
It was our
bring
third
up
time
the fact
talking to
that
each other.
Brad asked him about his story he gave up on 20 years ago or something like that?
Oh, you know what? I meant to ask him about that Web of Destiny. It was a choose your own adventure that Ron Friends penciled.
Oh, really?
Sounds
Peter
like he
David
totally
wrote-
wanted to answer that one again.
And Peter David, I emailed him years ago, and I said, "What happened to this book?" And he goes, "Your guess is as good as mine, buddy."
It was like, what, dude? That was 20 years ago or something.
And didn't you just write DeFalco at 3 a.m. and bother him? Lose my email, please.
Lose my email, Douglas. Yeah.
Was it Peter David or Tom DeFalco that you emailed asking about? Is this a decent
That was-
at a wedding?
Oh,
That was
the
DeFalco.
Ditko
That was
drunk.
DeFalco.
That's a fun one. Ashley on chat says, "Hi, George. Hi, Mike. Hi, everyone. Hi, Ashley."
Yep.
But yeah, so the Peter David interview was great, and I love that
man.
you're going to be talking to Marv Wolfman. Are there any, besides Nick Spencer, obviously, are there any other Spider-Man creators that you want to still interview?
I have one lined up in 2022. They've both agreed. Kurt Busiek and Pat Olaf we're going to look back at the 25 issues of Untold Tales of Spider-Man. They both committed to that.
Oh,
one.
nice.
So that's I don't think I announced that one yet. But
you did now.
No,
well, I did now. It's out there. Put it on the message board, Hornacek. It's a quote.
There you go.
So I've been trying Nick Spencer for his whole run. Not had much luck. Not had much luck at all. I've been trying, and hopefully, when time passes a little bit, I'd like to get Nick Spencer on.
Yeah.
But Kurt Busiek, Pat Olaf, and Marv Wolfman all committed. So you'll see those in the future. So. Yeah. Any other questions for the panelists? Give Javi something. Javi's right above you.
Oh, yeah.
He's your upstairs neighbor.
Javi, do the people at the store, when you come in, do they just say, here are the new pops?
No, I'm in pop rehab right now. Therapy's going well, and I almost relapsed today because I figured Brad would want me to show something off, but I abstained. I'm still on the wagon. I'm happy to report. And
But what about the Spider-Girl pop?
Spider-Girl pop. Have you?
I know I didn't get her yet.
Why?
Kelly and I are down.
Because he's in therapy.
We're offering him a drink, Kelly.
What is treatment for that like, Javi? Does somebody like if you start thinking about it, does somebody come out and beat you with reeds? Or how does that go? I mean,
it's just they threaten to knock this mountain of pops off of you and bury you alive.
Cause
I
of
mean,
death.
it's
how can you
it's
not
pretty
have?
bad.
How can you not have
Oh
Spider-Girl?
my gosh!
Wow. We didn't see the
How can you
update.
not get? How can you not get Spider-Girl though, Javi?
No.
It's
Come
made
on,
to
take a
get
drink.
Javi.
I need to. I need
Her
to.
eyes are perfect.
It's just
I know
like
they
$15.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, if you send me the link, I'll do it tonight. I'm putting it on you now.
Boy, that didn't take much to get him to take a sip.
I need to sell drugs. I need to go on a drug.
She's doing it right now.
Freezing, out of context. We're all in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Crawlspace After Dark, so let's see what happens.
What's up, Rich?
Get out of here, Dick.
No.
Look at her.
Look at her. Look at those lenses. Perfect.
It is
Oh,
pretty
it's less than $15. Are you kidding me?
Well,
Mhm.
plus
That.
you have to
There's
include
shipping.
the tax and stuff. So
And
okay,
April.
she's really just a
November
recolor.
2021.
Tyler was right on that because April, even in her blue suit, have some very slight differences on her chest spider.
Mm-hmm.
But so this is just a straight up recolor, but it's still fun.
Kelly's the only one of us that can say that and get away with it.
Mhm.
The rest of us get in trouble if we notice something like that.
All of us are like, Hobby, do it. And then Venkman was like,
these old perverts are talking about this.
Stay on the wagon, Hobby. No, man. Get
That's
on
why it's
it.
vital to have Kelly on the show so that kind of stuff can get pointed out.
But it's Kelly, they did a great job with her.
It looks good.
It looks really
great.
good.
I love the web wrapped around.
And she's a bobblehead too.
Look at that web.
Brad, have you seen the new Shatner pop?
There's a Shatner pop. Oh, on the chair on the Enterprise. Yes,
because they did the old generic stocky bodies, but they have a new wave at Target. They've got like and they've got Kirk in the chair, and he's all kind of leaned back in the pose with his legs crossed.
Does he have the glasses on? That'd be cool. Oh no, this isn't Star Trek 2. Okay, you mean like TOS? Okay,
eating an apple.
Look at him. Look at that toupee.
That's the perfect pose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good looking pop.
It's sent Hobby.
And the chair is perfect. The chair is perfect.
Kelly is sealing the deal so we get more Mayday pops from Pop in a Box.
Are you Hobbies?
I want more Mayday pops. I just want more Spider Girl stuff. I mean,
are you Hobby's supplier now?
Yep. Yes.
Are you his dealer?
I facilitate.
Yeah.
Are you not his pusher man, but instead are you his pusher ma'am?
Wow. Pusher ma'am.
I won't be quoting that.
Oh, Hornacek's writing that down. That was it.
No, I won't be quoting that.
Hornacek, any other questions? We got one more. We got Gary and the Frozen waiting to come on, but one more question for us.
I don't have any more questions, but I just want to say I love the website. I love the podcast. I've been reading Spidey comics since maybe ASM 170 something, collecting since like the Stern run. The only time I ever stopped was during the Superior run, which I just, on principle, I stopped reading, and I was like, this is going to be like the first time, like in years, that I haven't been buying and reading a Spidey comic. And the website and the reviews of the episodes just kept me up to date because I knew this was eventually going to be reversed. But I just didn't want to come back X number of years later and have no idea what was going on. So the reviews and the website and the podcast really kept me informed about what was going on, and it was great. I remember at the time you just started doing it was before Patreon. You were doing the PayPal. And I just started thinking, like, I'm not buying Spider-Man comic once a month, so why not donate to the Crawlspace $3.99 a month? So
thanks, man.
I just started doing that, and I just think, and when I was posting, I think it's still on my signature on the message board. I said the Crawlspace is worth $3.99 a month.
I remember that. Yes.
I think that's true for anyone, and I know you used to say on the podcast, if everyone that listened to this donated $1, then we could pay for everything. And this is somehow turned into a PBS pledge drive here. But everyone listening, get out your pocketbooks, give $1 a month. $1 a month. What are you going to do? Go to Starbucks and spend it on coffee.
There's a Sarah McLachlan song playing in the background. Brad has sad puppy eyes.
If every viewer that has watched this show over the years gave $1, we could all fly us to Paris and stay in that Spider-Man hotel room and have a party, man.
Yeah.
or we could upgrade equipment.
Yeah, but that's not as fun.
No, we're getting on a plane and partying in Paris, baby. I'm putting that coffee table in my luggage.
Brad has become the Dr. Gene Scott of comic book podcast, where he will literally just look at you and say, "Send me money. I need to buy some new horses, damn it." And then, sure enough, here come the bucks just rolling in. Oh God, we gotta get Dr. Gene Scott some new horses.
Oh God.
My father gave money to Dr. Gene Scott because Dr. Gene Scott would literally, and I'd ask my dad, I'd be like, "Why are you picking up the phone to send money to this guy?" And he goes, "Well, he's being honest. All these other guys are like, oh, we want to build a mission over here, and that's not true. They're going to blow it on hookers and blow." So this guy's like, "Dude, I just want some new horses." And my dad's like, "Dog, I got you." And Dad and Dr. Gene Scott had like bikini girls running around his ranch all the time. So yeah, that's Brad. Brad is now the Dr. Gene Scott of Comics Podcast without the bikini chicks.
Brad's like that minister that was in the news last year saying, "I need another plane to fly around the country.
Yeah,
I can't fly coach. I need a first class plane of my own." So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hornacek, thank you for your support over the years. You're awesome, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And keep quoting George. And all of us.
Yeah. Thanks for everything you've done, man.
Thank you for chronicling my greatness. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's God's work that you're doing.
Good night, everyone.
All right, man. See you, buddy. Thanks, man.
Hey, buddy.
Bye, man.
What a great guy.
He is a very good dude. Real quick, Peter Ford, because I didn't want to overlook this, because he looks to be a new reader.
Oh.
Peter says, "What is Marvel Unlimited, a history or something? No idea what it is, but I'll find out." It's digital comics, so they've digitized not all, but like 28,000 comics, and you can read it on your iPad. And so you can start with Amazing Fantasy 15 and read all the way up. Amazing Spider-Man is all there. So you could read Amazing Spider-Man from the first issue to the current, or 3 months late. But it's a good value. So, all right, our last live caller is Gary in the Frozen with a Spider-Man hat on, man. What's going on? What's up, Tyler?
Hey, Gary.
Hey.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just
Can
fine.
you guys
I love
hear
the
me okay?
Spider-Man hat. You got a little John Romita Sr.
perfect.
art on your head.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely.
You're either frozen
I don't
or
want
you've
to take too much of
had a
your
stroke.
on here.
Okay.
Oh, don't be nervous, dude.
You're fine. You're among friends,
Yeah,
so feel free.
Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from, by the way, Gary?
All right.
Is it Gary or Tyler? What do you want me to call
Southwest
you? Is it Tyler?
Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Either one's fine. Gary and the Frozen's actually my rock band. I have an alternative rock band.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Handle
Have
it.
you played the Spider-Man theme song in the band? Which would be cool.
No, I'm working on that, Brad. I'm working on that.
Hey, send me an MP3. I'll put it in front of
I'm working on that.
front of an episode. That'll be awesome.
So what do you bass, lead, or rhythm?
Yeah, we do that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Lead singer, songwriter.
Oh,
he's
cool.
the lead
All right.
singer. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. I love it.
Yeah. I want to ask JR a question.
Oh.
I'm a big JR fan, massive Spider History fan. And I have a question for JR.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
In your background there on your tack board, I think it's a tack board right next to the Alex Ross green Goblin poster you have a Green Goblin picture there. I think it's like a tack board. It almost looks like a coloring page. And I was just wondering what is that? Is there any significance
Isn't that what
behind
Spencer
that?
drew?
Yes,
drew for you as a little kid?
Yeah. Spencer drew. My son drew that. In fact, the all on the door is like stuff that my kids drew. My daughter, several of them are my daughters, but the Green Goblin one is something that my son colored for me many years ago. My son, by the way,
great.
who is turning 20 tomorrow.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah. But no, that's stuff my kids drew.
So your boy was 5 years old when we started this podcast.
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
Yeah. He debuted. He debuted on it once when he was, I think, talking about Spider-Man: Web of Shadows or whatever. And of course, he was
PS3 game.
Yeah, and he was, of course, he was little in, and of course now he's a grown. He's a great grown man. Oh.
Yeah, you made the old man cry, Tyler. So, how long you been listening to the site and or listening to the podcast and visiting the site?
I found you guys last summer during the pandemic. I was bored at home looking at stuff, the Spider History, and it's been on ever since.
Did you binge? And I apologize
all
if you
y'all's
have, 'cause this sounds
opinions on
painful.
everything.
If you've binged all 700 episodes during the pandemic.
No, I look up my favorite Spider-Man stories to see if there's a Spider History on it, and so I've watched a lot of them, but I can't say I've listened to all of them. But that's a work in progress.
There you go. Awesome. So, question for the panel: what would you like to ask us? or panel member?
Not really anything. I just want to tell y'all how much I appreciate you guys, and
Thanks,
I feel like you guys are my friends and everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I just want to tell JR how big of a fan I am of his, and I hope he's good. And it's gotten me through some times.
Yeah.
I can't wait for November for the Owl Aqua War, because that is my personal favorite Spider-Man story of all time.
It'll probably be November and December, because I think it actually starts like issue 68 or something with and then finally ends in 79. So it'll be a couple of months, but that's currently the plan, to do that in November and December.
I'm here for it. That's my favorite. That's my most favorite story of all time.
Nice.
It's one of my
other than
favorites.
that, I just wanted to say hi.
Okay.
Real quick before you go,
absolutely.
I want if you have a funny memory of listening to the shows or anything, any funny memory that sticks out in your head.
Yeah, I was reading the Spider-Man Mark Millar Marvel Knights story run back in the day, and I was watching y'all's little podcast on it. This was an old one, and JR was on there, and I was thinking, where have I kind of read a story that's kind of similar to this? And JR was talking about how it's so much like Batman Hush, and he said that he calls it Spider-Man Shush. And that just had me on. And that just had me on the floor laughing.
That is a good one.
And to be fair, I did not make that up. Somebody,
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, somebody, he did like toys or whatever, and it was Spider-Man Shush, and so I lifted it. But yeah, exactly, that's what it was. It was Spider-Man Shush. So
true. Well, Tyler, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Hey, keep in touch. I'll keep in touch. Anytime y'all want me back on, feel free to hit me up.
And also, you're on the Discord, aren't you?
No, but I'll do this.
Okay. There's a link on the front page. Just click on it. You can join the Discord. We can chat with us all the time. So that'd be fun.
Okay.
All right, Tyler. Thank you so much, man. You have a good night.
Yep. See ya. Good to meet you.
All right. Couple comments and we're going to wrap it up. Anthony, thank you for the super chat. Hornacek is talking about $1 a month, so he gave us $5. So that's the rest of 2021. So thank you for your support. Helps me pay the bills. I appreciate that. Venkman wishes a happy birthday to Spencer.
Yeah, happy birthday, Spencer.
Yeah,
Yep.
Hornacek says, thanks for having me on. I was actually really nervous. I just I'm glad I didn't stumble over my words. Hornacek,
you did
awesome,
fine.
man.
Yeah, aren't you?
Yeah, it was awesome. You did great.
We were all nervous the first time we shared time and space with George, but we all got over it. So.
Brent has a question. Do you want the marriage to be reinstated, or would you be fine with just one more day itself being recognized by Peter and undone?
I want it reinstated, but what we're going to get is that they recognize it and it's undone, and they will probably just stay together as a couple.
Right.
A couple that really loves one another and probably lives together. For example, I think Marvel will kind of meet us in the middle. Like they're not going to bring back the marriage like everybody wants, but they'll have them as like a permanent fixture at least for a while.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Before we go, I will ask the panel what I asked the call-in. Funny memory of the Crawlspace that of 15 years of podcasting and 23. Is that what it is? 23 of the website. We can start with Chi-Town, who just came back. Any funny memories that you want to share as we wrap up?
I got a few.
Okay.
I like to personally, since JR is kind of like the star here, I like to personally thank him for giving me an F-bomb during the Amazing Spider-Man #1 review by Nick Spencer. So thank you for that. I'll never forget it.
Refresh me. What did he do? He said, WTF? What did he do?
Okay, I'm going to use some salty language now. He was going back on saying, he was saying like Aunt May was disappointed in Peter and that Peter's not really stepping up to be a man. A man would tell his aunt what's going on. A man would tell Mary Jane what's going on, accept his responsibilities. And I said, I would like to rebuttal. And JR just went, go fucking right ahead. So thank you, JR, very much for that.
I believe it.
I must have been getting worked up or something. Or
You were on a roll, man. And
and then like the side stage crew came up and put a cape on JR like James Brown.
So that was a Goblin JRF bomb that I received. And my other one, my favorite is one, I guess, George. We'll go right back to you. And Brad was asking.
I'll probably come up a lot on this one. That's fine. Go ahead. That's fine.
Your great review. Brad was asking you I forgot what issue it was, but you were saying, I give it a D. And Brad goes, you give it a B? No, D. B? No, D. D.
That sounds really. That feels like every week, except for I think I've only given out one D in the Spencer run, but I mean that feels like it could have been every week before pre-Spencer.
Well, that was during the slot.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Brad's like, all right, George gave it an A, and you're like, I'm done. I'm done with you. But my
a lot on me. I've noticed over the
absolute
years.
favorite is the Can of Beans episode where we went down that rabbit hole, and that was just awesome.
How did I don't know how we got there. I think I misunderstood something, and I typed it in Google and it came up with that record of those two.
Yeah, you were looking for Can of Beams.
It was some kind of
accessory
website for figures.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. All right, Mike. Funny memories of 15 years of podcasting.
I have actually exactly what it was. It was the first time that I appeared on one of the Spider-Man Christmas gift exchange episodes.
I think I know what this is. Yeah.
Yeah. When I found the Spider-Man hookah for George.
Yeah, you got me a Spider-Man bong, and no weed to go with it or anything. No Northern California Sensimilla, no Kentucky bluegrass.
None of that.
So
the backstory was when Brad was telling us how is this thing was telling us how this work is okay. So go to sort of like Amazon or Walmart, Target or something. So I'm like looking around like, okay, what am I going to look like? And I end up stumble across like Wheatus.com, and I figure, and so it's just like, oh, there's a whole bunch.
Yeah, tell us all about drug school, cheats.
We're just like looking up this thing, like, because I'm thinking, because this was back when you were, when you were not using e-cigs though. So I figured.
Oh, that's back when I was still smoking.
Yeah. And so
that's years ago.
And so I just found like a whole bunch of these basically homemade like Spider-Man pipes that these guys made, and one of them was a Spider-Man hookah. It was like,
should I search it? Should I search to see if I can find it?
Oh, I'm sure it's long gone by this point. I meant
hookah.
HOOKA.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was one of them.
Yep, there it is.
But I always loved this. But I always loved the Christmas gift exchange stuff because it's like
there you go, Mike. There's a bunch of them now.
Yeah, now they're all over the place.
Jesus. Look at the one with the smoke coming out of the ice. Wow. Dude.
Merry Christmas.
It's getting there.
And I know JR was like thinking, it was something like these were actual things because they look like knockoffs. I think it was one of these things was
Yeah, there's no officially licensed.
They were
Marvel.
officially licensed.
No. Yeah.
Kind of like what happened with the Tom Holland scented candle was basically
maybe in India, but not here in the States. No.
If George continued smoking, he could have bought this. Look at this. Look
gosh!
With the search engine. Whoa!
Yeah,
we've already enabled people enough tonight. We've enabled smoking.
That is so dark.
Cigarettes, yeah.
Oh man!
Oh,
yeah.
Hornacek has a good one. A memory. Stanley cursing on the Sal Buscema tribute.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Stan didn't know we were recording, I guess.
No, he did. He did know. He did it on purpose.
He didn't care.
Sal, how the hell are you? I think is what he said, didn't he?
No.
What did he say? Give me a quote.
I can't remember. I think he said the S word. I don't know what I'm supposed to be able to say anymore. I think I think he may have said I remember him cursing because even me, George Berryman, who works in it like an artist works in clay. It even caused me to take a step back and say, did Stan Lee just say that for real?
Oh, yeah.
It may have been, maybe he dropped an F-bomb. I don't remember.
Brian says Flower Spider-Man.
Flower Spider-Man is another one.
That was
That's a
good
classic.
One. And
That's
you
a
doing a
classic.
push-up, JR, was funny too. That was the Spider-Man push-up. My God, that was funny. All right, Mike. Anything else? Any other funny memories?
I'm trying to think what was one of them. It was because I know one of the things was I do know the Secret Wars things where we were just berating JR about that whole thing, like we're almost flabbergasted over that. The black market dealer of symbiotes was another one. That was was another random thing. I do know, it was just like also reading through all those Sony emails was in terms of memory thing. Like we were just going over
Dude,
those
that
things.
was yeah.
Wow. And there were still people that were basically thinking, this can't be real. It's like, oh yes, it is.
No.
This
You really went all out for that news topic on the Sony email hack. I remember that one. You went all out.
Yep. Oh yeah.
All right, Javi, funny memories of 15 years of podcasting and the website. 23. What's some funny memories you have?
I think just some of the recent stuff we've done at like the start of the pandemic, when we found out about spider ramen and had to teach Brad what thick meant, and the resulting Google searches for that.
Oh, I don't think I was there for that one. I wish I could have seen what happened when Brad started searching for thick.
Boy, we went down a rabbit hole with that one, man.
Just THC ramen. That's there you go.
Oh yeah.
So here I my visual aids. Hold on. Let's see here.
Oh.
Here we go. There's Spider-Man ramen noodles. I remember that one, Javi.
Man.
That was fun. That was fun. I would love to get a box of that.
Now, question is, are they pumpkin spiced?
Nice.
No.
Yeah,
That can't exist. Pumpkin spice ramen cannot exist.
Oh no, it does.
That's against God's will.
It does, yes.
Pumpkin spice.
They were basically, they pulled a bunch of these people, hey, what do you want to be the next ramen noodles? And some bunch of people said it's pumpkin spice.
The human race as a collective should feel shame for that.
Yes.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
They spent so much time wondering if they could. They didn't stop it. Thank you, science.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. We have a lot of fun on the satellite episodes, Javi.
Yeah, we do.
We really do. You guys all bring your A game. It's just hysterical. Neil baking.
Oh God, yeah.
Baking with both.
I remember when the satellite episode was just me and Brad.
Yeah.
And everything I read was, god awful.
It was.
Everything we read was god awful. We were covering the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, which was insanely bad.
Oh yeah.
There was nothing good. Everything was bleak. It was like I was in hell and having to make jokes to distract myself. And I did that for like a long time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hornacek says John Romita Jr. eating pizza in his car while doing an interview with me. Yeah. His buddy was driving. He just went to the pizza shop and got on his cell. We were doing an interview. That was fun. Ira says the Secret Wars podcast, like the series, nothing on the Crawlspace was ever the same.
Nope.
Everything changed that day. Spider Yoda, no more.
Hornacek says teaching Brad what a bougie cake was on the satellite episode.
Yes.
That was a good one. What is it
That was
about you guys
also-
teaching me about pop culture and baking and food? I thought I was an expert until you all
It's
started.
because we have drip and we just want to share.
I remember I had to teach. I remember I had to explain to Brad what "notice me senpai" meant because he thought I was insulting a listener that called in and had an anime avatar, and so I was like, "Senpai has noticed you," and his name was Patrick. I remember, and Patrick got, "Oh my god! Well, apparently I'm doing good because Senpai has noticed me." And Brad's like, "Dude, you can't say shit like that to the listeners. you can't do that." And I'm like, "Brad, do you not know what that means? That's an honorific. Senpai has noticed him. He is seen by Senpai. It's a good thing." And Brad was like, "I don't know, dude. Maybe we need to cut you out of the show. I think maybe I don't know."
Oh, that was funny. Here, Vinkman sent me a picture. Let me put it up. I think he was talking about the peanut butter episode we did.
Oh,
and these are the Drake cake comics. So I don't know. I think Vinkman, did you just get these in the mail? I thought that we could read these on the air, kind of like we did the peanut butter comics a couple weeks ago. That's fun. Hornacek says Brad calling JR for an episode when he was in a hotel and the call kept dropping, so Brad had to keep calling the front desk and get the lady at the front desk. I remember that. Can I have room 735? The old man. I remember that. Oh, that was funny. Anthony says when we played the meme game where we came up with memes, that was a fun one. Hornacek also says when Michael Bailey's dog started barking, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And then the wife in the background goes, she's in heat.
Oh.
That was really funny. JR asking Swedish people if they like Abba, not my daughter. Abba, not Ava.
Yeah.
That was me asking them if they liked Abba.
Yeah. And then I started asking everybody else from different,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm from Canada. Oh, do you like Celine Dion? And and George is just getting more and more disgusted with me all the time.
So we've done Peter, Mike, Javi. Any other funny moments you want to share before we move on?
I mean, just Oscorn. I always love JR doing Oscorn or his Obadiah Stane.
All right, Kelly, funny memories.
I mean, definitely. I was gonna say the Stanley part, but you already said that. So I guess I don't know. I laugh my butt off every single time we record. So I have a lot of just happy, funny memories. We're just funny. Let's see. Obviously, having to teach you guys boob socks.
Yeah, that was a community.
That became a
service.
thing. That became a thing.
George, did you say it's a community service? Is what you said?
I didn't know what boob socks was, Brad.
It's an art. It's an art thing.
I didn't know what the hell it was. So every time Kelly mentioned it, I felt uncomfortable laughing because I didn't even know what the hell it was. And finally, like a month or two ago, I was finally like, can you please tell me what the hell boob socks are? and then she broke out visual aids.
Oh, that's Spider-Girl bust. Yeah.
And then I guess super recently, I think was it the last Spider News where honestly somebody needs to do Crawlspace crack and just have out of context quotes from all of us.
Yes. Yeah, that's what Hornacek did with the quotes. I mean, he used to do those. Those were so funny. And we do so many of these, we just kind of forget them, and
they blur together after a while.
They do.
I have to say, no, I'm dragging down the funny mood, but we're really funny and we have a good time, and I think that's why we have so many fun fans who always come back and listen to us, and I'm very thankful.
And I've said this on the show before. In '98, when I started this, I didn't know any Spider-Man fans, and I wanted to create a place where I can hang out with my friends. And who knew 23 years later that I would have met all of you. We'd be hanging out, we'd be cracking jokes, and people around the world are watching this.
Yeah.
So it's just, I love the community we've built. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's nice to see so many people enjoy what we do too. So, all right. George, funny memories.
Did you hear the trepidation in his voice?
Yeah, sure.
Hesitancy.
Well,
all right.
I debated. Should I?
Here, let me just prop my feet up here.
If I go to George, but I'm going to go for it anyway. I'm ready.
I mean, Kelly's right. We like to have a lot of fun here. We say a lot of funny things. One of my favorite things is when I completely break somebody, and I've done that to Brad more times than I can count. I remember one time when Brad compared his wife to the Riddler.
Oh yes.
And I said, well, Brad, why is your wife like the Riddler? And you said because she does things and I can't figure it out. And I'm like, and I remember my answer. I was like, so because you're not the sharpest crayon in the box, that means your wife is a Batman villain. And I think Brad laughed about that. I think Brad laughed for like 20 minutes.
That was hysterical.
Yeah.
That was hysterical.
And there's been a lot of funny things over the years. We do take a lot of shots at Brad, but it's like
he deserves it.
He's kind of like HR Puff and stuff. in a way, that way.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't, I wouldn't break balls like the gangsters say if I didn't love you very much.
Oh,
love
you too.
I'm trying to think of other hysterically funny things I've done.
You are the only one that's ever broadcast in the same room with me, George.
That's true.
You have been in this spider shrine here.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad that they didn't have that we didn't have webcams back then, that we weren't on YouTube, because I don't think you could have fit both of us in the frame. we are not small guys, and that is a tiny room. All right, there wasn't a lot of room to maneuver there in the mangrove. You know what I mean? It's pretty precarious.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't want to reach for a book, find out what religion Brad was. anyway, so, but no, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, obviously the time I got Mike was stegronfans.net. That was really good.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I don't think it is. And the ascot, he wore an ascot. I think that's become a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. On the 15th anniversary show, I'm gonna actually. How many viewers do we have? How many viewers do we have right now? 20 right now. This will be recorded. We'll see who actually makes it all the way to the end or not. So for years, I have gone on and on and on about how much I love Stegron. Right? I have action figures somewhere. I can't reach it. Yeah, he's over there.
There's only made one.
And as a kid, I did like Stegron because he's half man, half dinosaur, for all the reasons I've said. But my obsession with Stegron has been I think the longest running meme on the site. I actually do recognize Stegron as like a C-list villain. All that stuff. I understand the characters, not all that great, but I keep the meme going because it's what we have to do. When you commit to the meme, you commit to the meme until the end of your days.
Committed for a decade plus.
And so until I am in the ground, by God, they will put me in the ground with the Stegron figure in the casket. That's how committed I am to the meme.
Stegron and a Whataburger right next to you, right?
Don't let your memes be dreams. I feel like Neil would want me to say that if he was.
Well, see, here's the thing. Stegron at least has an action figure. Hypno Huster, on the other hand,
doesn't. Yeah, unless it's a custom. I'm sure you could find a custom off eBay somewhere. There's a custom for goddamn everything on eBay or the Etsy's or whatever. I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I've had a lot of fun doing this. Probably like JR, probably done it for way too long.
No, you have not.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. The upcoming Spider-Man by committee phase we're about to go through is going to be that's going to be where that's where the rubber's going to meet the road, so to speak. We're gonna find out if I feel like sticking around or not. I don't know. JR, what do you think?
I missed the episode when it was brought up. I think both you and I did, actually.
We both were gone. Yeah.
And I ain't looking forward to it. I mean, the only thing I can think, it's supposed to be relatively short term in duration, right? It's not.
The guest is at 900. We I'm thinking it's
one-man
band.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be 900.
So we're looking for like 8 months.
Yeah, the only
6 months or 8 months.
25 issues at least. Yeah.
I just wonder
3 into 25.
I just wonder if the reason they're doing it, and like even bringing Ben Reilly back, which I just befuddles me. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but maybe I'm thinking it's just a stopgap until they find somebody like Nick Spencer who has a vision. Now, I want to say a vision, but somebody who will come in and have a plan, and do Spider-Man for a while. And this is just until they find that person.
Yeah.
But I've almost literally thought, should I even be on it then? To be honest,
I started wondering that too, because number one, I mean, I have nothing but disdain for the shitty clone stuff. And to find out that we're bringing shitty clone stuff back in for 8 months. Oh, and by the way, there's a committee doing it.
Right.
Yeah. I think, and it's like, why are we having Ben Reilly come back when we have a Spider-Man movie coming in December?
Right.
It's like, what's the logic?
Yeah.
Again, I think I do agree. I think there's a lot of security firms that regard it. That is a stopgap. It's primarily because of with Spencer leaving and going to Substack. Yeah. So earlier than planned.
So we're gonna find out when this all starts whether or not I'm even gonna stick around. And here's the thing. I mean, like if I don't stick around for this, right? I'm gone. Other than Spider Jeopardy, that'll be the end of my
Spider News.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess I could. That's true.
Any other thoughts, George?
After that cheery drop, no. I don't really have anything. I don't really have anything else.
All right, winding up with JR, and then I'll give a few thoughts and a few comments. But JR, you've got the floor.
Boy, going back though 15 years, holy cow! The thing is, I was going to bring up George's because I remember. I don't think I've laughed as hard and as well. I was about to say something. I better watch how I phrase it. But when the Batman villain, so you're not because you're not the sharpest crown in the box. Now your wife's got to be a Batman villain. I forget how long I laughed there. That was probably about the biggest guffaw I've ever had on the show. Was that? And another George moment is when the whole making shit up thing was. we were doing Sins Past, and I mean it was kind of funny because there were other things too because when George wanted to know, this is the episode, this is where the goblin splooge, right? And then I started, and then it was. Obviously, Brad didn't care for the term, and George said, "Well, I think he would prefer drippings." And but the late Kevin Cushing just came in with, "I don't think he would." But it was. I forget. There was one thing I did. Again, the letter came in, and I had Peter, saying what Mary Jane said, and George said, "That's not what she said. That's not what she said." And then another one where it was where Mary Jane told Peter, that he knew that he and Gwen hadn't done anything, and so I addressed it as, well, back then, Peter, I knew you couldn't even get it up, and George went, "That's not what she said. That's not what she said. You're just making shit up now."
I want to get into this. When you did the review for ASM 798, I believe, as Green Goblin, I never seen George laugh so hard in my life because you were like, I'm dying, Peter, and I see Jesus. And he's dying. And George is like, he did not see Jesus. What the hell is wrong with you?
I do remember that. What the hell was wrong with you?
And there was a fight. There was a fight club where it was Peter versus the Green Goblin. I forgot what issue. And you took over the entire.
Yeah. JR took it over and started running with it. And I was like, all right, no, go ahead. He got through like 3/4 of it. Yeah. And then finally I came back for like the last quarter of it. And I was like, okay, thanks for turning my segment back over. Yeah.
But yeah, that was, I remember that. But God, they just, I don't know. It just,
so many.
Yeah, and just remember how late we would stay up sometimes.
I know.
And I can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, unfortunately, all the jokes about me getting older are really, I really am getting older.
Oh, you and me both, brother.
And, but yeah, it's like, well, I just remember once I was calling from Pittsburgh because back when we were just still doing it. Before we were doing, and I was working in Pittsburgh, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm on the cell phone. I'm just about, it's like, well, goodbye, guys. I got to get up in 2 hours and go to work. those days, thankfully, are gone. But Peter David, Venom 654. 37 or whatever.
I want to say real quick about JR. And we've talked about this before. JR and I knew one another before Crawlspace. We had worked on another website together that we put together back in 2000, brought JR on. And so JR and I had a lot of memories of one another from before Crawlspace, when I first started coming around here, like in 2008. But we'd never even really seen one another or really talked or anything like that, because every correspondence we ever had was through email. JR at one point, I think, eventually met the guy that the other guy that I was doing the site with,
Alex. Yeah, I met
Alex. And but at that time I wasn't involved with the site anymore, and I'd already moved on, so I didn't see JR. So yeah, I like that because, like so many other people, I found Crawlspace through JR. Found out JR was on Crawlspace, and so I started posting on the forums, talking to JR, and then that's eventually what sucked me into the podcast. But so yeah, I'm very thankful for a lot of things for the podcast and for Brad specifically. But I'm also have been very grateful. And I don't really think I've really said this, that the Crawlspace managed to bring me and JR together in like a whole new way. You know, because I've known JR now for 20 years. So
well, like you announced the birth of my son. I mean, you know, George. You know, I mean, it's just funny how everything works, because George, when he invited me to participate in Hero Realm with him and Alex Hamby, that gave my site a lot more recognition. I mean, more people saw it or whatever. And then when I left Hero Realm, then that was when Brad asked, you know, oh, by the way, you know, you're leaving Hero Realm. Do you want to write for, you know? And I said, well, you know, give me a few. I wanted some time out, but you know, and then then I joined the Crawlspace in that capacity, you know. And
episode 3, I think. Episode 3.
I mean, I was like writing for. I mean, it was just I forget exactly, but it was but my articles always debuted on the Crawlspace first. It was kind of like with Hero Realm, they debuted on Hero Realm first, and then they went to my site. And then after you asked me to join the Crawlspace, that's kind of how I did it. Then it was like they would debut on the Crawlspace first, and they would go to my site. And then that's how George found me. Or found the Crawlspace. It's almost like a vicious circle, you know. Kind of. But you know, if Brad hadn't asked me to join the Crawlspace then, I probably wouldn't have written as long as I had. And if he hadn't asked me to be on the podcast when I was doing my laundry that one time, and then I never left, you know, I probably wouldn't have been, you know, sticking with Spider-Man nearly as long. Because really, this show, this camaraderie we have in a way, has carried, I think, you know, certainly carried me through a lot of not so great moments in Spider-Man.
No doubt. No doubt.
But the fact that we can get together and talk about it and commiserate, and, you know, share misery, it's always something I've been grateful for. And and I'm really glad that Brad has expanded the membership on the show, because it got to, you know, because I think a lot of us were doing every show for a while, you know, and it was like,
I still am doing every damn show.
Yeah, well, you are, but it was like, God, I'm glad he's got so many other people, because then I only have to do this and this, you know. But the show is just, I mean, it's like a machine, you know. And and how many podcasters started off? I mean, Brad started podcasting, and then, you know, how many he was almost like the Roger Corman of podcasting, you know, because other people would try podcasting as a result of either, you know, having listened to the Crawlspace or been on the Crawlspace or whatever. So it was it's a lot of really
I consider Brad to be more like the Russ Myers of podcasting.
I don't even get that joke. What?
You should Google him later.
Later.
Every time you tell me to Google something,
you should Google him later.
Let's do it live on the air. And I'm just kidding. Well, I'm gonna I'll say a few final things, but let's get the comments, and these will be the last comments we do. Gary and the Frozen, grateful all you guys, appreciate you having me on. Hornacek says JR discussing the news of the 2 women stealing Febreze in Saginaw, Michigan. It was indeed a very funny line.
Wasn't that the one you wrote in an airport, JR?
No, I don't. That was the one where Tyson, who's still on my list.
Oh yeah, Tyson. He was shocked the other day on Discord that you still remembered him.
Yeah, he's on Discord now.
Oh my God. Brent says, thanks for having me on. Congrats on 15 years. King Hillbilly says, thanks for keeping me entertained at work. God forbid I have to take out the headphones and talk to coworkers.
Yeah, I know.
Spider Jeopardy. I forgot the year in Final Jeopardy. Ashley bet no money saying gambling is a sin.
That sounds like Ashley. That sounds like Ashley. Yeah.
Heroing says Spider Push-Ups is a classic, and anytime you all did the crime, which happened on one's birthday, cracks me up. It was the Florida crimes, which was very funny. Brent says Spider Jeopardy is always a highlight. Enjoyed when George caved and added a Clone Saga category. Anthony says the interviews with Greg Weisman and Josh Keaton were great. I thought I liked that one too. Power Packer says Stella getting the thought balloon question during Spider Jeopardy. That was funny. Scrolling through the funny moments thread, Brad, JR's ruining Secret Wars. George, help me.
I remember you calling out like a child when you said
I'm
that.
I'm like in the 1970s quicksand.
Like you were like a little boy that had fallen off the Titanic and were looking for like a life jacket to be thrown for you or something like that.
Yeah, and George had no sympathy for him.
JR getting a text from his wife during an episode saying, I've gone to bed. See you tomorrow. Talk a little softer, please.
I received a lot of texts.
Oh, you have,
during those days.
Brian says our interview with the Californian comic store owner that roasted JR for his comments.
Oh,
about
Eddie.
Comic store. That was Eddie.
Yeah,
That was
Eddie.
Which the thing was, it was all just a riff to like give him more publicity. I mean, it could have been and it's like, wait a minute, what is this? What's this problem with him? We just talked to. I turned a 30-second news story into a 10-minute bit. So
I always thought you two should have settled it like men, greased up like like pigs wrestling in a tub of Vaseline for charity.
JR calling Mike fake Mike the first few months after he joined the podcast.
That's when
Michael Bailey was.
When Bailey was
come on.
We were trying to come up with nicknames to try to distinguish me from everybody
Real
else.
Mike and fake Mike is the best we came up with.
No, it's not. We called him Spectacular
Mike for a while.
Oh, that's right. Yep. JR putting Tyson on his enemies list. Hornacek says George was quoted as saying there are only 3 people who could have defeated Stegron, Jesus Christ, Elvis, Hank Williams Sr. All 3 of those men are dead.
I remember saying that.
Whenever JR mentioned Senator Aiken from Missouri to get to me, I remember that one. Hornacek says, Brad, that one time I said that the Black Cat was all about sex, and Donovan said, quote, I'm sorry, Brad, but you're effing wrong. I think it was Donovan's first episode on the podcast.
It was, yeah. First episode, and he just comes swinging for the host, right?
JR Waterloo Gates for the ABBA thing. Stella getting a thought balloon question, Spider Jeopardy.
You had highlighted that one earlier.
Our drinking game. There you go. And also,
what was the drinking game? Was that
every time? I forget what someone said. Was it clones or something?
Oh, every time that Ashley snorts, take a shot.
Every time Ashley snorts, that's right.
I thought it was related to Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
One of my favorite memories is from Spider Jeopardy, where Kevin was waiting for his cheese sticks to arrive. Brad said, Kevin, have you swallowed the cheese? And Bailey said, damn, Brad, come on. All right. My final thoughts are thank you to all my dear friends who are in these little boxes. You guys, I consider you dear friends. I've only met one of you in person, which is George. But I think if we were to meet in person, we'd just be like old friends.
I think I would shank Javi.
Because he's close to me too.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Javi and I would get along at all. I got my eye on you, Theo. I'm watching you.
Funny memories, they've all been said. I don't have anything else. Kelly said one in the comments about the Goblin Moons, where JR put 3 Goblin booties up on the screen.
I was gonna say Goblin booty, and then like when you
Goblin booty,
Goblin booty, blinked.
But I think I set out 23 years ago to make Spider-Man friends, and I did it around the world. And you guys are just a part of it, and the listeners and the viewers over these years. It's just been a pleasure. And to all the members that have worked on the site, who've been on this podcast in the past, to ones that are watching now that might be on in the future, because God bless, I don't get a break. I've done all 700 of these damn things. I've enjoyed every one of you, and thank you for making this such a fun Spider-Man community. You guys are a lot of fun, and I guess we can do final thoughts real quick. Chi-Town final thoughts real quick.
Dark Mark, I'm sorry you're not here. You've been outcasted, my friend.
Wow. He was just busy. I asked him on.
Wow. Yeah. I'm sorry you're not here, buddy. I was looking forward to seeing you. I was kind of hoping you would be here, but Mark, it disappointed me once again. So.
Javi, final thoughts?
I'm happy that you founded the site, that we're all here together. I've been here pretty much since the beginning, and slowly wormed my way onto this live stream now somehow over the last couple of years. So it's been a real honor to get to know everyone, and what started off as friends on message boards or Facebook, has become, because of technology, a lot closer community. And I'm glad I got to be here when the Crawlspace changed from the Crawlspace to the JR space.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got to witness that historic event tonight.
Oh my goodness. Heroing says, I love the podcast. Continue to view you guys till the end. Thanks again for the great show, and happy 15th. Mike, final thoughts?
Yeah. I just keep thinking back to when I first got on here, and like when I was basically originally writing, and then you guys needed somebody, and I know you, Brad, you need somebody to do the Amazing Spider-Man 2 review, and how I was basically calling literally from one of my portable phone at my house,
from single
thing, and it's just like how he kept being invited back for some reason. But yeah, you've been great so far. Thanks, Brad. I mean, thanks for everything you've been doing all this time, for just putting together, bringing us all in, talking about things we love about Spider-Man and everything else, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Of course, JR, and with his knowledge, basically cracked me up every time about with his history thing, and of course George, and been awesome getting to know you and how everything like this, and so it's been a fun ride. It really has. Yeah.
Kelly, final thoughts?
Just I'm thankful to be here, and I'm very glad that the Crawlspace has been around. I think I said it last year that I started listening in college to you guys, and it's kind of grown into before I was on, I'd always listen at work, and it was like getting to talk to friends about comic books and stuff like that I don't always get to do. And that was a lot of fun. And then to be on and actually get to contribute to the conversation has been amazing.
That's awesome.
I'm very excited to see where we all go, because I know we're heading into some troubled waters.
Yeah. But, to Spider-Man and beyond, right, Kelly?
Yeah. To Spider-Man. Yeah, to Spider-Man and beyond. That's the final thought.
Get George's doll out for that one. Final thoughts. The well-loved Patreon Spider Yoda JR. Final thoughts.
Brad, thanks for the memories.
Thanks, Bob Hope. Hornacek, George's night of drinking with the Kingpin voice actor is an all-time great moment. Yes. What was the actor's name from the 90s?
Roscoe.
He was on a Cosby show. I forgot.
Yeah, Roscoe Lee Brown. Yeah.
Roscoe Lee Brown.
Yeah. We got lit.
He did get lit. That's a great story.
We both did.
Final thoughts, George.
I'm very tired. I've enjoyed getting to know everybody. There's been people come and gone. I think about all the time. I miss Donovan very much. I miss Stella very much.
Yeah.
And so glad, we've got to meet so many great people. It seems like we get, somebody new, ever so often, and it just, it really works out. And I'm thankful to I'm thankful to Brad and everyone else for everything that we do. We have a lot of fun. I get the sinking feeling that my time here is probably going to come up here pretty soon when the new creative team takes over and we get, hey, look, it's a clone story. I don't know that I'm going to survive that one. You'll still have me for Spider Jeopardy and apparently news, according to Brad. So you may see less of me once Spencer's off the book. We don't know yet, but if so, very. Thank you very much, Brad, for creating all this, and I really want to go to bed.
All right,
and I love everybody, and I really want to go to bed.
All right,
it was great to see Venkman one more time, and Venkman did say when on my second time on this show that Chi-Town's moving up. I really did feel like I was moving up meeting you guys. It was just a pleasure, and I've said this before. Thank you for this ride. It's I can't wait to see where we keep on going. Brad, Javi, Mike, JR, Kelly, George. I salute all of you. You guys are great.
We salute you right back.
And we thank our Patreon members each and every month. You're about to see a slide of them. It's expensive to do what we do, and they help pay the bills each and every month. So thank you, Patreon members, and also thank you for watching our show for so long. We're out, guys.
All right.